This colossal beast is an ancient water tyrant whose mere existence terrifies an entire region. Yet for an unbelievable reason, it willingly becomes a Shui's pet weapon, flipping the power balance. It not only helps catch fish but also points out spirit herbs, nudging a Shui onto the fast track of power. Sheltered like this, a Shui is forced to grow fast, since this transmigrated world is deadlier than expected. In truth, a Shui is a modern man transmigrated into a frail, helpless teenage body. He soon discovers his trusted uncle colluded with outsiders, killing his father to steal everything. The story opens with peaceful rivers and mountains. The calmer it looks, the crueler the coming tragedy. The boy stands by the lake, distant gaze hiding a longing for someone he never truly lost. His gentle father pats his head, stunning a Shui with warmth that doesn't belong to him. Suppressing the emotional chaos, a Shui follows his father to the river, forcing himself to believe it's real. His father hauls in a net full of fish, the mundane warmth making a Shu dread waking up. Sunset falls over the calm river, signaling a beautiful day ending far too abruptly. A red carp appears and greed plus curiosity drag a Shui into a dangerous choice. He dives in after the rare fish, a reckless move that throws him straight into peril. Body stiff underwater and unable to breathe, a Shui panics as death closes in. Waking up bound, a Shui realizes all the warmth before was a cruel trap. Zhang reveals his plot, using a Shui as bait. Human lives are just tools to him. A Shui understands the family reunion was only a dream born of desperate longing. He reminds himself has been transmigrated for a month and must stay sharp to survive. Still clueless about local ties, a Shui is tricked into leading the way, paying the price as monster bait. He quickly learns this world holds supernatural power and weakness equals death. Humans cultivate to become warriors, forcing a Shui onto this unavoidable path. When Zhang Darren shouts a warning, the air tightens. The thing below has arrived. The old man pales while calling out the water beast, his fears spiking the danger level. Bound as bait, a Shui faces the monster, knowing one mistake means death. What rises beneath the boat isn't a fish but a colossal water monster, 10 times the boat's size. Its spiked tail smashes down like a warhammer, one hit enough to crush dozens. Zhang Darren panics, realizing his calculations were disastrously wrong. The monster keeps attacking, capsizing the boat and leaving no escape route. When it charges straight at them, Zhang Darren knows the fight to the death has begun. He unleashes a move refined for 10 years, gambling everything on this moment. Pouring all his power into one punch, Zhang Darren believes a hit will turn the tide. The monster shreds the boat instantly, rendering Zhang Darren's power laughable. Facing death, Zhang collapses in terror, pride, and will utterly shattered. In desperation, he stabs through a Shui's hand, sacrificing another to save himself. A Shui is kicked into the river, bound tight and completely helpless. Blood spreads in the water, conveniently marking a Shui as prime prey. At the edge of life and death, a Shui bites through the rope, forcing himself to live. Smelling blood, the monster lunges in excitement, pushing a Shui closer to doom. Oxygen fades, vision darkens, and a Shui feels life slipping away. In his dying moment, he hears his father's voice, a final obsession anchoring his mind. The illusion shatters when another arm pulls him up, not the father he hoped for. Escaping death by inches, a Shui caws violently, danger still far from over. Just as he thinks is safe, he's dragged under again, sanity torn by repeated near-death. The monster clamps onto his leg, hauling him into the abyss where only despair remains. Dragged to a bone-littered riverbed, a Shui gives up, believing he tried his best. The monster opens its jaws to devour him, while a Shui lies completely still. A Shui's bloodline awakens an ancient swamp cauldron, glowing seals reacting violently. A mysterious system activates, new powers and abilities merging into his body. Realizing he's not dead, a Shui struggles back. His fate officially takes a new turn. The current suddenly wraps around him, resistance vanishing as a Shui stands in water like on land. The system appears, stating he's spending stamina to control the surrounding water. Breathing underwater feels natural, and a Shui realizes water control rewrote his survival rules. Seeing his hand fully healed, he confirms his body was completely restored. Before he can adapt, the colossal water monster closes in from behind with clear killing intent. The beast is bound by flowing water, and a Shui freezes as the one controlling it. The system panel clarifies that in water, has broken free of normal limits. As control weakens, a Shui panics, realizing the power has a time limit. Breaking free, the monster counterattacks, putting a Shui back in prey mode. In crisis, the system unlocks a blood contract ability with the water monster. Knowing it's his only chance, a Shui decides to gamble everything. He prioritizes restraining it with water, since one slip means instant digestion. The monster is bound again by flowing currents, its massive body still trapped. A Shui carves ancient runes with blood on his hand, red light glowing underwater. Risking his life, he closes in and engraves the runes onto the monster's head by force. A battle of wills begins, crushing pressure shaking a Shui's consciousness. Remembering his sickly past life, a Shui pours in all his will, refusing to die again. With sheer survival instinct, he completes the contract, forcing the monster to submit. The battle ends, the river calm under moonlight as if nothing happened. Crawling ashore exhausted, a Shui pants and joy is still alive. The system confirms he refined the swamp spirit water ape, becoming its master. A spiritual link forms, allowing mutual sensing and summoning. The water monster returns to its lair, diving away without killing intent. Hunger hits, and a Shui decides to head home and rest after the deadly night. Elsewhere, Steward Zhang appears with an unreadable smile, hinting trouble isn't over. Villagers whisper as Steward Zhang leads people to a Shui's house, expecting disaster. Li San panics on hearing the news, knowing a Shui likely can't escape this time. Tu Jong sneers in secret, convinced Shui's death means total inheritance. He kicks the door open, confident the boy can't possibly be alive. The sight inside leaves him stunned as Shui lies there perfectly intact. Tu Jong freaks out, pointing and screaming, unable to accept Shui's survival. Steward Jung's cold voice cuts in, instantly taking control. He pretends to praise Shui's luck, eyes full of calculation and killing intent. He orders the arrest, two lackeys moving in to restrain Shui. Shui is punched in the gut to shut him up, denying any chance to resist. Tu Jong quickly frames him, claiming Shui colluded with the water monster to kill Jong Darren. He accuses Shui of causing financial loss and endangering the villagers. Despite the pain, Shui exposes the truth that they used him as bait. Labeled a monster, memories of rejection flood back as the crowd grows colder. Rage surges as Shui glares back, resistance pushed to its limit. Provoked, he strikes back, realizing patience only invites abuse. Shui fights desperately, smashing Tu Jong's stomach and making him howl. On the floor, Shui still stares with hatred, refusing to submit. He secretly activates flowing water, swearing to bite back even as a monster. Steward Jung reveals his ambition, planning to take Shui for dark cultivation purposes. He forces adoption, threatening to cripple Shui's legs if he refuses. At the critical moment, a shout rings out as someone steps in to protect Shui. Li San arrives with the village head, using authority to force Jung to back off. Forced to retreat, Steward Jung leaves threats behind, hatred far from over. Before leaving, Tu Jong spits vicious taunts at Shui, sowing more resentment. The crowd disperses. Li San helps the village head leave, leaving Shui alone to face the aftermath. The village head warns him to avoid clashing with the powerful, since next time help may come too late. Watching the flowing water on his hand, Shui knows this kind of trouble will repeat. He soberly realizes relying on others only works briefly, not for long-term survival. Clenching his fist, Shui decides to grow stronger proactively. The system is his only path. Right then, the system detects swamp water essence, opening a chance to boost power. Without hesitation, Shui heads to the riverbank to verify the system's notice. Using their mental link, he summons the water ape, preparing to tap new power. The water surface ripples violently, a sign the water beast is responding. The water ape appears in a smaller form to reduce consumption, surprising yet pleasing Shui. Shui asks about the essence's location, and the water ape immediately leads the way. Following it underwater, Shui enters a cave beneath the riverbed. Before him lies a golden glowing cavern, aquatic life everywhere, majestic and surreal. Shui realizes in shock this is legendary biology, an extremely rare resource. The system confirms biology contains swamp water essence, far exceeding expectations. Not wasting the chance, Shui collects all the biology in excitement. After eating it, the system reports improved fusion and water ape evolution potential. He keeps eating until all biology are gone, the essence steadily increasing. The system panel shows fusion and evolution stats, unlocking upgrade options. After thinking it through, Shui prioritizes strengthening himself. Energy erupts, a beastly spirit manifests behind him, and his physical power surges. Shui senses his water control reaching about 45 jin of force. Despite growing stronger, he worries about livelihood, as the water ape is nearing hibernation. Right then, a fish is pushed ashore, the water ape appearing behind it. Shui rejoices, realizing the money problem can be solved by selling fish. After selling fish at dawn, Shui holds the cash. One golden fish fetched 80 coins. Recalling the market haggling, he smirks at how easily merchants here are led. After settling accounts, Shui turns serious, deciding it's time to settle with Tu Jong. As he thinks of it, Tu Jong suddenly appears behind him, faking a friendly greeting. He pats Shui's head to apologize, blaming misunderstandings to lower his guard. While promising safety aloud, Tu Jong is already plotting murder inside. Shui also smiles darkly, because he's been waiting for this moment. Knowing they're alone, Shui feels even safer. This is the perfect timing. Tu Jong recalls last night's order to seize Shui as alchemy material for immortality tests. For promised benefits and the path to immortality, he vowed to bind Shui and return him. Old Jung tempted him with immortal bait, dragging Tu Jong in completely. Back to the present, Shui and Tu Jong sit on a small boat in the empty river. Tu Jong secretly poisons the soup, certain Shui has no escape. He delights in imagining Shui dying in agony with no one to hear. At that moment, Shui stands, torrents of flowing water gathering on his arm. Before reacting, Tu Jong is seized by water, choking in panic. Before blacking out, the last thing he sees is Shui's icy gaze. Awakening bound, Tu Jong sees Shui waiting, casually tossing a money pouch. Shui sneers, pointing out the dirty money Tu Jong earned by selling lives. Realizing this is the very spot used to hunt the water monster, Tu Jong's mind collapses. The water ape appears and Shui mocks that the monster is now his pet. Knowing death is certain, Tu Jong kneels and begs, ready to spill all secrets. Shui bluntly asks why the Zhao residence has been capturing people recently. Trembling, Tu Jong confesses they're all used as materials for immortality elixirs. Though he begs innocence aloud, Tu Jong secretly harbors hatred, wishing for Shui's revenge-filled end. While Tu Jong is still begging, Shui decisively stabs him with a rock, blood splashing across the river. Shui coldly accepts himself. If he doesn't become a monster, the dead one would be him. The water ape drags Tu Jong's corpse underwater, reminding Shui this choice was survival. Sitting alone under moonlight, Shui realizes he needs a backing force before the Zhao residence strikes. Tu Jong's body sinks into the depths, burying sins and secrets alike. 3 days later, Shui adapts to his new power, Tu Jong's death marking the point of no return. To hide his trail, he poses as a fisherman, sailing by day and selling fish by night, avoiding Lotus Lake. Shui worries the Zhao residents will eventually investigate Tu Zhang's suspicious disappearance. He concludes only becoming a strong martial warrior will keep him alive. The fastest road is joining a martial hall, and Pingyang's strongest is the Yang family hall. Once inside, the Zhao family won't dare act rashly for fear of bigger trouble. But entry costs 5 to 8 taels, while Shui has less than 3. Calming himself, Shui feels his body and mind adapting well, enough to tame more water beasts. Deciding to earn more, he carries the water ape onto the boat and resumes hunting. Diving in, he clearly senses his movement growing smoother after awakening. He compresses water underfoot and bursts forward, using a vortex for sudden acceleration. He quickly notes it drains stamina fast, but the speed is nearly unmatched. Spotting a dark streak flash by, Shui realizes it's a rare treasure fish. Seeing 2 treasure fish at once, Shui is thrilled at the payday. He orders the water ape to chase one, split in their actions. The water ape cancels its small form, enlarging itself to boost pursuit speed. Shui traps the treasure fish with water control, locking it in compressed currents. Holding the fish, Shui secretly cheers. Today's haul exceeds expectations. Right behind him, a colossal water monster with golden eyes suddenly appears. Still giddy over the valuable catch, Shui fails to notice the new danger. Something coils tight, the fish basket slips away, disaster striking too fast to react. Dragged straight into deep water, Shui loses initiative as it turns into a life-or-death crisis. The giant beast reveals itself, mountain-like with red eyes, suffocating pressure filling the depths. Recognizing a mane-eating six-whiskered catfish, Shui knows it's fight or die. Forcing calm, he focuses on swimming up to find a way out instead of panicking. Seeing a water orb form at its mouth, he instantly guesses a killing move. Unable to dodge, Shui activates water control and slams head into the attack. The water blast explodes, stalling the monster just long enough to save his life. Before he can breathe, the catfish whips its tail back, proving this fight won't be easy. A strange mocking screech echoes as the situation suddenly shifts. The water ape arrives in time, smashing its tail and forcefully joining the battle. The catfish is knocked off balance, its assault broken as the tide turns. The water ape viciously bites and tears, buying Shui precious prep time. Seizing the chance, Shui slashes his palm for blood, trading pain for victory. He slaps a blood control talisman onto the catfish's head, betting everything on one capture. Despite constant danger warnings, Shui forces his will onward. Stopping means failure. His will crushed yet unyielding, the catfish finally submits, the tide flipping instantly. Silence falls as Shui drags himself onto the boat, exhausted but alive. Gasping on deck, he admits he nearly died to the monster's overwhelming mental force. Waking to see the catfish subdued and the system's success notice, Shui knows he profited big. Checking the spoils, treasure fish tumble from the basket, raising the haul's value again. The water ape even brings back a treasure fish fry, confirming Shui chose the right partner. He lights a fire and cooks the treasure fish, deciding to test the power boost firsthand. The system reports 18 points, returns exceeding expectations and fueling future fusion plans. With calculations done, Shui heads to the grand market with his catch, ushering in a new competitive phase. Shui pulls out the second treasure fish, declaring this is his real merchandise. Holding it confidently, he grins. This one is nothing like the trash fish around. Seeing its ugly look, the crowd laughs, assuming Shui is scamming with junk. A familiar voice rings out, freezing Ji Shuang and drawing all attention. The Yangshi martial instructor reveals himself, his presence silencing the entire market. He swiftly prices Ji Shuang's fish, flatly offering 3 taels of silver. Ji Shuang happily seals the deal on the spot, transaction done in a blink. Shui can't resist presenting his own fish, forcing the instructor to take a closer look. One glance makes the instructor exclaim Niu Jiaoshang, instantly grasping its true worth. After inspection, he offers 6 taels, outright double Ji Shuang's price. The market erupts. 6 taels is a lifetime sum for ordinary folk. Ji Shuang stands stunned, the gap between him and Shui painfully clear. Without hesitation, Shui sells immediately, turning rumors into cold hard silver. Afterward, he asks why his fish is worth so much more. The instructor explains Niu Jiaoshang scales, refined pills to break blood barriers, extremely rare. Realizing this, Shui secretly rejoices for keeping the scales, sure he didn't undersell. While counting money, someone approaches from behind, putting Shui on alert. Li San appears, pats his shoulder, and publicly praises Shui for bringing honor to town. Seizing the chance, Shui directly asks about Yangshi Martial Hall's entry fee. Li San reveals it's 7 taels, expensive but worthy of its reputation. Hearing this, Shui calculates quietly and realizes he now qualifies. He immediately suggests registering together, confident has finally reached his goal. Just then, the system issues another abnormal warning, signaling new trouble ahead. Elsewhere, hidden investigations begin pointing toward Shui, danger brewing. Back on the boat, Shui enjoys a hot pot of fish soup, briefly at ease. He shares soup with his water beasts. True teammates deserve power, not stinginess. The system reports 24 swamp water essence, confirming treasure fish are top-tier resources. Essence floods his body, boosting his physique and confidence noticeably. Recounting stored essence, Shui realizes he meets the upgrade requirements. He opens the system panel and chooses fusion without hesitation. Power erupts violently. Water ape fusion jumps to 11 pressure spreading outward. His water control grows so strong he lifts a Fey with mere intent. Seeing evolution still needs 779 essence, he knows the road ahead is long. Holding a strange item, Shui suspects its origin is anything but ordinary. Overlapping visions of divine beasts flash by, hinting at massive secrets. Shaking off distractions, Shui focuses on one goal: enter the martial hall and grow fast. Next morning, a Shui travels with Li Ba toward Yangshi Martial Hall. Pingyang Town appears ancient and lively, calm on the surface but churning beneath. In the shadows, someone secretly watches, targeting a Shui's journey. Knowing he carries cash to register, they decide to strike. The ambushers lie in wait in a narrow alley he must pass. As a Shui steps in, they suddenly rush out to block him. The leader snarls for money, threatening death if he resists. A Shui scoffs and chooses violence, leaving them no escape. He strikes first, one punch shatters the leader's teeth. The others rush in and are instantly countered, the tide flipping fast. A Shu grabs one thug and hurls him into another, flexing fused strength. Two robbers fly off, the formation collapsing in seconds. Liba stares in shock, just 9 moves, and a Shui ends the fight. Looking at his hands, a Shui knows his current strength far surpasses his former self. A Shui calmly steadies his breath, clearly feeling his post-upgrade physique is on another level. Liba can't believe it, wondering why a Shui still needs a martial hall despite such strength. A Shui dodges the question and urges haste, unwilling to miss enrollment time. The two officially enter Yangshi Martial Hall, opening a new martial path. Xiang Changting greets them as senior brother, laying down rules for new disciples. They're led to meet the instructor in charge for testing and martial guidance. The appointed instructor is Hu Shixiang, direct disciple of Master Yang. A Shui recognizes Hu Shixiang as the martial artist who bought his fish, instantly reconnecting. Hu Zai confirms a Shui's fish was breakthrough medicine, praising him highly. Thanks to this tie, both are arranged to train under Hu Shixiang and stay in the hall. Hu Zai prepares to test their aptitude, the key step shaping cultivation paths. A Shui takes the chance to ask bluntly about martial essence, refusing blind training. Hu Zai explains 4 stages: skin, flesh, bone, blood, each upgrading life itself. He concludes martial arts boil down to training, but mortals hit limits fast. Breaking limits needs 2 keys: techniques and medicinal support. Techniques are ladders, giving warriors a clear climb. Medicine is the life handrail, boosting speed and surviving risks. Hearing his fish was vital medicine, a Shui grasps the true value of the swamp cauldron. Hu Zai warns against impatience, martial paths are long and trap-filled. In the shadows, a mysterious watcher targets a Shui, danger quietly forming. A plot is assigned: drive a Shui out of Yangshi Martial Hall. Seen as perfect pill material, killing intent locks onto a Shui. Worry of Yang Dongxiang, they plan quietly instead. Test results show a Shui has top-tier aptitude, crushing Li Ba's confidence. A Shui heads straight to the training ground, knowing strength is the only answer. Entering, he runs into Chen Jishuang, tension spiking instantly. They nearly clash, but a Shui stops it. Trouble now means disaster. Jishuang admits selling all his fish to enroll, since weakness invites oppression. The 3 head to train together, fearing tardiness could cost everything. Training starts brutal, a Shui barely keeping up at full effort. Hu Zai allows a short rest, hinting the afternoon will be worse. Exhausted, the 3 gasp, finally grasping martial arts aren't easy meals. 3 other disciples show up to provoke, mocking their fisherman origins. They openly demand protection money, turning bullying into entry terms. Li Ba nearly explodes, but Jishuang stops him to avoid trouble for Hu Shixiang. A Shui swallows it, knowing his current strength isn't enough headin. The leader brags about nearing the skin stage, a clear death threat. Right then Hu Zai storms in, scaring the bully stiff. Hu Zai punishes them with stance training, temporarily saving a Shui's group. Before leaving, they drop threats, proving this isn't over. A Shui understands deeply: without strength, only humiliation awaits. Deciding fast, a Shui suddenly asks leave, shocking the other 2 as he exits. While running, a mysterious voice warns of danger at Lotus Fields, panicking a Shui. Night falls. The bully returns, sneering, this time no Hu Shixiang to shield them. He brings many accomplices, clearly aiming to cripple Li Ba and Jishuang. Meanwhile, a Shui dives into the river with 2 water beasts to hunt anomalies. Though near the skin stage, the beasts hesitate, signaling extreme danger. A Shui pushes through seagrass, gripping his weapon, knowing his close. He senses water control and underwater perception surging, detection range expanding. A terrifying presence below chills a Shui, danger is right at the doorstep. A colossal monster appears and a Shui freezes, realizing has met something he shouldn't. Seeing its signature claws, he identifies it as a crab spirit, beyond the skin stage and no mere beast. Remembering Instructor Huss' words, a Shui knows spirit beasts mean over-tier power, 1 mistake equals death. Judging the surviving water beasts, he guesses this crab isn't completely unbeatable yet. With no plan ready, a Shui questions whether he dares gamble his life. He finally understands fate never changes without risk. Hesitation only leads to losing everything. Water currents wrap his arm as a Shui refuses to yield what is claimed. Facing the crab spirit, he declares boldly if it wants the lotus field, strength will decide. The water ape and Afei charge together, choosing to stand with their master to the end. All sides attack at once, and a life-or-death battle erupts beneath the river. Elsewhere, Jishuang is knocked down, the bullies fully gaining the upper hand. Seizing a gap, Jishuang counterattacks with a stone, fighting back desperately. Yankai goes berserk, stomping mercilessly, clearly intent on crippling him. He orders the exits guarded, planning to torture them slowly with no escape. Li Ba resists and gets his arm joint snapped, pain leaving him unable to move. Yankai threatens to gouge Jishuang's eyes, turning humiliation into brutal torture. At the brink of despair, a strange voice rings out, forcing everyone to stop. The crab spirit clamps a boulder with its claw, raw strength freezing the air. A Shui realizes its armor is nearly impossible to break by normal means. He immediately orders the water ape to bind it tight and limit its movement. Seizing the chance, a Shui locks its body with water flow, pouring in full control. Mental overload makes him cough blood, nearly losing control and suffering backlash. At the critical moment, Afe rams through the defense, opening a life-saving gap. Seeing the combo work, Ashui Spirit's lift victory is still possible. The Crab Spirit roars in fury, signaling the battle has only hit its climax. It tramples the lotus field, debris flying, and raging Ashui over his violated territory. A claw flashes like lightning, blasting Ashui away and shaking his organs until he spits blood. Forcing himself up, Ashui resolves to risk it all, kill it today or die here. Carefully observing its rhythm, he spots an imperfection, a hidden weakness. As another claw slams down, Ashui dodges and dives back into the water. He gives instant orders as the water ape and Afi coordinate their assault. While restraining it, Ashui confirms the crab's belly is always guarded, its true fatal point. He compresses all water flow into the wooden spear tip, readying his pre-planned finisher. 2 acceleration rings are forced out, costing nearly all his mental strength. Ignoring alarms and blood streaming from eyes and nose, Ashui grits his teeth onward. The spear launches with all his will, shooting straight at the only weak spot. The tip drills through hard armor, piercing the crab spirit's belly. Fatal strike achieved. Overexertion knocks Ashui out instantly, his body sinking to the riverbed. After a while he wakes, dizzy but alive after the deadly gamble. Struggling upright, Ashui realizes he's leaning against a familiar massive object. Seeing the crab spirit's leg dragged ashore, he's shocked yet thrilled by the huge loot. Greed sparks as he thinks of the enormous essence this crab holds. Flipping it over, he finds a glowing clutch of eggs. Missing this would be a crime. Unable to subdue the mother, Ashui considers ruling through the crab eggs instead. He decides to risk it again, trying a blood control talisman on the eggs. Blood smears onto the eggs, marks binding instantly as domination begins. The eggs hatch into crablings. The system confirms capture and unlocks king-tier evolution potential. Ashui processes the crab spirit's legs into food, wasting not a single valuable part. After eating, fusion jumps to nearly 20%, vitality flooding his body. His aura erupts, frightening other water beasts, while only the baby crab stares innocently at its master. Finishing cultivation, he checks his body. Healed wounds lift the deadweight and boost his launch pad. A test move spikes fusion by 36.6 thanks to the treasure fish. Power and energy overshoot expectations. He activates a new ability and senses the blood mark touching the threshold makes the breakthrough road obvious. Clenching his fist, he knows he's near the energy gate, and his battle confidence surges. He shares leftovers to heal the water beast. Scarce resources mean zero waste allowed. Thinking of lurking enemies, he knows crossing the gate flips the board instantly. Becoming a Marshall Hall trainee would free him from the Zhao residences, threat the only shield for now. Resolve set, he returns to train at dawn. One slow step invites disaster. Elsewhere, Yan Kai is about to gouge Ji Shuang's eye when has stopped. Too brutal, too loud. Yan Kai swaggeringly claims he speaks for the third young master. Backing makes rules optional. He insults Xiao Hui for owing the Zhao residence, aiming to snap his will. Yan Kai threatens with his father, a cheap mind game meant to paralyze resistance. Cornered, Xiao Hui bows and swallows the shame to protect his family. Henchmen laugh then get spat on, as Ji Shuang still has fight left. Lying still, Ji Shuang sneers, scorning their filthy tricks. Yan Kai rages and threatens to kill allies to crush Ji Shuang's mind. Jie Shuang roars back, choosing death over watching others suffer. Yan Kai mocks that no one will save them. Instructor Hugh is absent, so he feels untouchable. At peak oppression, a lackey gets blasted away. Someone strong crashes the party. From the dust, a figure steps out. The odd aura freezes the crowd. Ashui appears, sees wounded teammates, and his anger detonates. Gritting his teeth, he vows to fight. Backing down means endless trampling. Blood Kiai flares like fire behind him, violence to end humiliation. Above, Huzai blames himself for arriving late. One slip put rookies in danger. Yang Dongsheng sees through it. A timid warrior can't break the blood gate. Yan Kai sneers and orders a rush, thinking a fisherman can be mob-crushed. Order ends. Ashui kicks him square in the face. One beat slow flips the tide. Ashui slips the surround and chains. Counters, no suppression allowed, only decisiveness. A lackey opens his mouth and eats a heavy punch. Ashui grants zero breathing room. Yan Kai isn't scared. His thrilled skin gate blood key should dominate this kid. Head and clash. Ashui catches the strike and counters the gut. Close to combat skill shocks. Bottled rage erupts. A killing hook twists Yan Kai's face grotesque. Seeing blood, Ashui grins wildly. His old terror is just that. Humiliated, Yan Kai pulls a knife and stabs dirty, dodging fair play. He slashes while spewing venom about Ashui's lonely past to shatter resolve. Barehanded, Ashui grabs the blade through his palm. Pain beats, letting it continue. Bracing, he fires a condemning punch. The limit snaps. One slam, Yan Kai's head smashes the ground. Life and death gap decided. Only now does Yan Kai beg pitifully, from tyrant to condemned. At the fatal instant, a sword drops to stop it. The real expert arrives. Yang Dongsung steps in, indicting the bullies. The Marshall Hall tolerates no scum. He punishes Xiaohui too for hesitation. Silence is a sin. Trembling, Ashui realizes who Yang Dongsheng is, a Marshall Hall legend. Thinking he crossed a line, Ashui expects expulsion for going too far. Old insults scramble his mind. Past weakness hasn't fully faded. Suddenly, Yang Dongsheng asks if he'll be a direct disciple. True courage seen. Before all, Yang Dongsheng formally accepts Ashui. The decision is final. News of the 9th direct disciple spreads through the Yang residence and nobody takes the spotlight. Reviewing 2 wild weeks, Ashui smiles, no longer alone on the martial path. His gaze hardens with backing secured. The next target is the Zhou residence. Outside, senior brothers buzz excitedly. Shu's night fight was a literal hair's breadth from death. Huzai proudly brags a fresh newbie beat someone about to enter the skin gate. Seniors tease each other, being noticed by Shifu makes a Shui both admired and envied. When the call rings out, everyone turns. The junior brother finally appears. A Shui steps out looking sharp. A new status brings a new aura. He respectfully thanks for the gifts, knowing this is genuine recognition. Lu Gang gifts rare alloy and vows to forge a weapon, treating a Shui as family. Chang Song urges them inside. The formal disciple ceremony is about to begin. At the Zhao residence, Zhengxiang reports trembling. The bodyguarding item is gone. Chaos ensues. The master lashes out at Zhengxiang. Leaked secrets invite disaster. Zhengxiang blames a Shui, convinced he killed someone and made it vanish. Hearing a Shui is a direct disciple, the master hesitates, fearing Yang Dongxiang. Afraid yet firm, he orders Zhengxiang to retrieve it. Losing that item is unacceptable. At the Yang residence, a Shui is called. The moment of identity is here. Yang Dongxiang solemnly asks, formally taking a Shui as a direct disciple. A Shui kneels and answers, binding his fate to this master from the heart. Yang Dongxiang declares his protection. A master is the greatest backing. A Shui raises his head in salute. At last he has status and support. In the martial hall, disciples trained seriously. Discipline here dwarfs the Zhao residence. Trainees whisper a Shui sleep to direct disciple shocks all. They cheer at Yan Kei's group being expelled. Villains finally pay. Nearby, a hidden figure grinds his teeth. Plots still lurk in shadow. Huzai explains the martial path. A Shui must know the trials ahead. The 7 paths are listed by realm. Each step means explosive growth. Hearing of ascension, a Shui is shaken for the first time. He imagines returning home. Huzai explains Pingyang Town. Other halls just survive. Yang Hall endures by Shifa's roots. He stresses their long dominance. Master Yang alone reached the Beast Tiger realm. Hearing Beast Tiger, a Shui is stirred with the system, his confident of rapid ascent. Huzai warns against haste. Martial arts demand steady steps to go far. A Shui calculates quietly. Zhao pressure eased. Next is hunting treasure fish to break the skin gate. He boards a boat to the Great River. Only treasure fish hunting can speed cultivation. Checking the system shows 37 fusion. One more chance breaks the skin gate. Midriver 2 demon beasts clash. Bursting auras churn thunderclouds. A green toad crashes down, waves roaring. The power gap screams danger. The boat shatters. Sudden calamity washes all caught fish away. A Shui falls into the water, unable to resist the battle's shockwaves. A red bird's cry assaults the mind far beyond tolerance. He reels. A Shui sinks helplessly. Consciousness shatters in an instant. Waking ashore, he knows the cry knocked him out. Demon beasts are terrifying. Thinking of the clash, he realizes the hunters of such beasts are far scarier. Boat gone. Fish lost. Breaking the skin gate is postponed. All effort wasted. Bouquet Dong opens its mouth, revealing crimson blood flow. Heaven-defying luck revives hope. The system displays evolution info. Stored resources are enough to open a breakthrough. Night falls. A Shui meditates in a hut, preparing to charge the skin gate. He recalls Huzai's words about spirit calming incense key to mental stability. Following guidance, a Shui eats fish to replenish spent blood. Key must be restored. The 30th attempt still falls short. The skin gate isn't easy. He circulates blood Kuai in his chest, the root of life force. Under the incense, blood key spreads to the limbs. Skin refinement begins transforming. Golden fire aura blankets his body. A Shui officially enters the skin refinement stage. A Shui's heart glows gold. Surging blood Q screams the breakthrough is close. Even the 40th try fails. The skin gate lacks just one final step. The system shows 49 fusion. Hitting the threshold makes change imminent. His confident touch 50 and the skin gate will quake. Resources dry up, forcing him back to the old road. Hunt treasure fish to break through. Sunlight floods the room. Lost in cultivation, a Shui realizes it's morning. Chen Cheng and Li Daikang arrive, worried their kid hasn't been home for days. A Shui reassures them all 3 were kept by the martial hall to train. Li Daikang mentions the river god ritual. The deity appeared abnormally. They say the river god caught monsters, forcing villagers to make offerings. A Shui links it to the demon beast clash that wrecked his boat. He nods to join the ritual. Better low profile than more attention. At the waters, a Shui bursts up from below, still drilling combat skills. A whirlpool smacks him. He loses balance and drops back into the depths. Underwater, a giant crocodile waits with jaws wide. Danger everywhere. A Shui stomps its head and springs free. Combat reflexes are instinct now. He uses water blade, borrowing the flow to amplify his counterattack. A quick read shows underwater combat beats the skin gate. Water affinity dominates. He eyes the wooden staff, sighing no good weapon caps his power. He recalls legendary spirit weapons that can self-upgrade. Suddenly he senses strange heat. Something below is calling to him. Rubble parts to reveal blazing red feathers, the firebirds trace from before. A Shui decides to ask Lu Gang. This reeks of rare treasure. Returning to Pingyang County, he walks against the crowd, mind racing ahead. A huge smoke pillar rises afar. Bad omens signal new trouble. A Shui reaches the Lu Forge at last to handle the oddity he found. Lu Gang recognizes junior brother. The forge fire isn't the only spark. A Shui explains the item's origin. Netting fish snagged a nightmare material. One look and Lu Gang gasps. Chihu Niao feather life flame blazing. He explains it's a red firebird feather. At death, it pours life into plumage. Among them, one holds the strongest essence, the rebirth core. Lu Gang denies it's a golden feather. If it were, they could stand nearby. He advises forging it into a spirit weapon. Direct absorption wastes potential. A Shui recalls underwater fights. A long-handled weapon suits him best. He decisively chooses a long spear for water combat. A Shui hands over the feathers to be forged, set on a sentient weapon. He asks about the smoke pillar outside. The aura feels wrong. Lu Gang grimly says it's Fawa temple. Something forbidden appeared. A Shui shivers. This is clearly no small disaster. Lu Gang speaks the spine-chilling name Sunga. Time rewinds to Fawa temple, peaceful under morning sun. In the woods, a pregnant woman flees in panic, calamity chasing her. She spots a young monk sweeping her last hope. She begs for help and collapses, her body hits its limit. The young monk alerts the abbot, the woman finally awakens. The abbot asks her story, what she faced is clearly abnormal. Hualan says she was blocked on a rainy night by mysterious people. They all had grotesquely swollen bellies, barely human. Hualan trembles, it was hell, those people had become demons. A horrific voice echoes in memory, they called themselves pill refiners. The freaks clasp hands before rune-lit bellies, the twisted ritual starts running. The high envoy draws a knife of human flesh, the essential sacrifice tool. The victim's guts are scooped into a red meat mass, life is forced into pill refining. The high envoy lifts the bloody red lump, the alchemy ritual is complete. Lingyang coldly explains this is the oxmum pill made by the high envoy. Victims are forced to drink mountain goal meat soup, bellies swell with meat embryos. After 3 months, the embryo condenses into a pill, rumors say eating it makes one immortal. Miss the 3 months and it births instead, consequences beyond imagination. Back at Manhwa Temple, the abbot orders Jiming to bring food to Hualan. Jiming calls inside, no answer, the air turns wrong. A pool of fresh blood appears under the bed, disaster struck silently. The back door opens, revealing Hualan's blood-soaked legs, her body was torn apart. Only her twisted, agonized face remains on the bed, the rest was taken. Jiming screams in panic, the sight shatters all limits. Looking up, he sees the mountain goal smiling, the real nightmare appears. Wang Bukui leads an investigation, the Manhwa Temple case alarms the Yamen. Xiao Hui recalls hiding bodies for the Zhao residents, he was forced into filth. Zheng Xiang vaguely says they'll know what to take when they see it, a deadly secret. Manhwa Temple feels icy, it has become a land of death. The door opens and faces go pale, the scene inside is horrific. Corpses litter the temple, a massacre devoid of humanity. Bodies are torn, incomplete marks resemble beasts but far beyond normal tigers. Xiao Hui curses Zheng Xiang, realizing these corpses were what needed hiding. Blood trails stretch along the ground, bodies were dragged one way. The trail stops before a gloomy pagoda, killer and clues converge there. Facing the extreme evil, Zhaiqing drops to his knees, terror crushes everyone instantly. Wang Bukui scans and swears this tragedy exceeds human imagination. Thousands of corpses piled into a nest make his fists clench, all missing people died here. The door slams shut behind them, turning the room into a cage. When pounding sounds come from outside, Xiao Hu cuts it off, the thing inside is about to hatch. Seeing the eggshell pulse with life, he reveals the truth, a mountain goal, egg of the ghost mother sect. With the nest complete, once hatched it jumps to stage 2 power, surpasses normal humans. A withered arm breaks, the shell evolution completes, disaster is unstoppable. The humanoid mountain goal crawls out, stage 2 pressure and killing intent crush minds. In under half a minute, it bites Zhaiqing's shoulder, proving absolute disparity. One hand grabs Xiao Lu, the other blasts Wang Bukui away, galloping horse realm crushes mortals. Xiao Lu struggles and begs, one heartbeat slower means certain death. Xiao Hui freezes unbroken, facing galloping horse now is near suicide. He plans to retreat and break the door to save outsiders, if it escapes, doom multiplies. Inner conflict rages, survival instinct and old habits of avoidance resurface. Thinking of his aged father and hometown, he knows closing his eyes means lifelong shame. As Xiao Lu's neck nears being bitten through, the final cry pushes Xiao Hui past retreat. He finally draws his sword, if not now, all later choices are meaningless. One strike forces the mountain goal back, not victory, but seizing initiative. Xiao Hui declares Hell-test galloping horse, the hero's dream demands, facing his greatest fear. Childhood memories return, a boy with a wooden sword vowing to be a hero steadies his hand. Being valued by Yang Loi once fueled him, proving he wasn't born to retreat. Past insults haunt him, but also forbid him from bowing again. Seeing his sick father teach endurance, he learns courage isn't innate, it's chosen. Old resentment closes, Xiao Hui stands firm, choosing advance over escape. His father's old words echo, Xiao Hui realizes being someone he respects matters more than any title. Initiation memories surface, Dongxiang taught humility and endurance, as arrogance leads to ruin. Back to the present, Shifa's voice rings out, forcing Xiao Hai to stay clear-headed before the savage mountain goal. Xiao Hui grips his sword and strikes first, hesitation means more than one will fall. The first slash is dodged, but the creed of slaying evil drives him to press in. Facing razor claws, Xiao Hui doesn't retreat, bullying the weak is absolutely forbidden. Images of Yang Loi's past dominance fuse into a mental pillar for every swing. Xiao Hui imitates legendary blade forms, the only way to force the monster back. Blades flash in succession, pushing the mountain goal back as despair turns to deadly stalemate. Blood sprays and strength drains, yet he advances, stopping now shatters all youthful ideals. The mountain goal bites his right arm, Xiao Hui uses the other hand to hold the sword and stay upright. Gritting through pain, he leaps high, only a life-or-death gamble can end this. The blade pins the mountain goal, Xiao Hui admits there's no saving it, only ending it. He knows he can only suppress it, this beast isn't a complete galloping horse yet. Xiao Lu reassures him, calling their act righteous and naming Xiao Hui a hero. Xiao Hai self-mocks the title in his eyes, many deserve it more. Bitter memories push him toward the peak, only power prevents being trampled. The sun rises over Manhwa Temple, the battle ends, leaving ruins and heavy silence. A charred corpse still grips the sword, Xiao Hui died without letting the mountain goal escape. A token engraved Lu has found, the dead man's identity is finally revealed. A memory of Xiao Hui smiling as a hero shows his true heart, helping the weak was never forgotten. Elsewhere, Patriarch Zhou cruelly interrogates subordinates, exposing the hand behind the tragedy. He rages that Manhwa Temple nearly blew the cover, threatening fallout reaching the High Envoy. A subordinate admits they used Xiaohai to stall the newborn mountain goal to seal the scene. They burned everything to silence witnesses, turning heroism into a bloody secret. A cold voice cuts in the room, falls silent as the real authority speaks. A man steps from the shadows, declaring all must answer for this failure. He crushes Gidong's head on the spot, instant death as a warning. The body collapses in blood. Patriarch and servants fear even breathing. After killing, he hypocritically comforts the patriarch, hinting at the Supreme Old Mother's protection. The High Envoy threatens the steward, implying his secret son will be the next hostage. To save family, the steward kowtows and swears loyalty fully broken. Patriarch Zhao seethes but dares not resist. His entire fortune is in their hands. He smugly celebrates raising a mountain ghoul, sacrificing a whole temple for power. Facing imperial investigation, they decide to flee to Huan Prefecture to survive. The patriarch is thrilled no Yang Dongsing there, so plots still have room. Scene shifts to Yixing City. Ashui hears of Lu Xiaohui and feels heavy disbelief. Ashui can't grasp why Xiaohui appeared at Fawa Temple. The hall never called for aid. Chen Qingjiang panics with news. Crowds have gathered outside Ashui's home. From afar, Ashui sees a grotesque giant centipede at his gate. A gaunt mountain ghoul swallows the centipede whole, feral eyes locking onto Ashui. In the yard, Xu Chengchuan screams in fury, venting on his own son. Su Dingyi kneels for half an hour, begging. The more he pleads, the harder has beaten. Unchecked rage makes Xu Chengchuan strike viciously, ready to beat his son to death. Neighbors watch with sneers, treating Ashui's misfortune as cheap entertainment. Liang Luan's parents spit venom, blaming all woes on Ashui and his family. Ashui arrives to a storm of curses, realizing the crowd targets him. Xu Chengchuan instantly turns obsequious on seeing Ashui. Classic bully fear strong. Another man grins and rushes up to Ashui, signaling real trouble just began. A freakish arm with sharp claws flashes into view, proving danger around Ashui is far from small. Su Chengchuan flatters Ashui, flaunting the direct disciple status to flip the situation. The crowd buzzes the name. Yang Dongshang screams power and status. That fame emboldens Xu Chengchuan. He planned to borrow Ashui's clout all along. He fake rages at his son, even offering the kid's life to show sincerity. Ashui grips a real whip. Sweat breaks out as they realize he won't follow the script. Ashui's icy words hit survival fear's head and shattering Shidingyi's nerves. Seeing real terror, Ashui lowers his hand and stops pressing. He lets it go, knowing the real mastermind isn't the brat. Su Chengchuan instantly offers a silver tray, buying face and ties with cash. 100 tails stun the village. Greed and gazes pivot fast. Villagers bluntly expose those who ditched Ashui when he was poor, catching them flat-footed. Asked by Xu Chengchuan, Ashui coldly denies any ties, cutting fake bonds. Ashui proposes diverting the money to the river deity right, forcing the Xu clan to pay for the public good. He also demands a charity porridge stall, boosting goodwill directly. The village cheers. Ashui becomes an unshakable righteous icon. Leaving the crowd, Ashui refocuses on cultivation, sensing the skin gate at its limit. Instinct says today is the window, miss it and wait ages. He prepares meticulously. This breakthrough risks total bodily ruin. Ashui enters meditation in cold water, launching a full-force skin gate charge. Aura erupts. Ashui rises in golden light. Skin gate broken at last. Testing new power, he finds water control skyrocketed, strength far beyond before. Sensing terrifying potential, Ashui knows his path is right. Freshly through, his eager to act, no rest planned. The old gate-blocking pest gets punched again clean, merciless severance. Nose bleeding, the man bears his true face, shamelessly invoking blood ties for claims. Liang Guangshan keeps making a scene at the door, extorting money publicly. Pushed too far, Ashui leaks killing intent, coldly warning him not to cross the line. Failing intimidation, Liang rolls and slanders, yelling has the uncle to sway opinion. A sudden spit hits his face, farce instantly interrupted. A burly aunt scolds him flat, exposing how he never helped when Ashui's father died and the child starved. Others chime in, accusing him of swindling inheritance and ruining the family. When he threatens again, villagers club him, his bluster gone. Village head Chen Maon arrives, publicly cursing Liang Guangshan as an ungrateful beast. Kicked out hard, Liang flees in shame. The circus ends. Ashui thanks the head, realizing village prestige protects as much as strength. Chen Maon proposes Ashui be chief efficient for the coming river right. Ashui links it to the system, guessing the right may trigger water affinity. He accepts, decisively stepping into the event's center stage. Long nights studying rites and characters exhaust him, but he won't falter. Mocking fate, Ashui commits to life as an ancient Terra student. In class, has seated with kids' awkward laughter inside. The teacher shows displeasure, sneering at an illiterate being admitted. Under scorn, Ashui recites a poem smoothly. Class and teacher stunned. He delivers the full text, proving has no dullard. Criticizing clunky methods pricks the teacher's pride, earning angry rebukes. Ashui calmly counters, pointing out flaws for beginners. He proposes phonetic pairing symbols tied to sounds for faster learning. T. Hengi enters and immediately notices the fresh idea. T. Hengi reveals the court rewards useful inventions, opening a new road for Ashui. He invites Ashui to study under him, shutting down the old teacher's protests. Tai Hengi openly defends Ashui, declaring learning and martial arts ignore birth and wealth. He reassures Shang Xiangsheng, showing he'll shoulder responsibility and shield his student. Ti Hengi publicly backs Ashui, stating all doubts are his to settle. Ashui performs the disciple salute, knowing he's found a truly worthy teacher. Cut to the gloomy riverbed, where the world of Shui Hodzi quietly turns. A catfish sounds the alarm, accidentally triggering a chain reaction below. Quan Hu throws too hard, smacking the catfish and causing an unexpected collision. The impact cracks a rock wall, revealing a bizarre glowing fissure. Sensing the anomaly, Shuihozi and Quan Ho approach curiously. Late night, a Shui follows Shuihozi swimming down to inspect the find. Shuihozi shows off, leading a Shui to the rocky nook and injured catfish. A Shui realizes it's an ancient tunnel, likely left by predecessors. Entering the cave has shocked. The interior is far larger than expected. Glowing vines light the way, unveiling the space above. A Shui calls everyone in, choosing deeper exploration over safe retreat. The cave rises above water, forcing a Shui onto dry land. A multi-legged creature ambushes from behind, but a Shui dodges on reflex. He recognizes it as a water centipede, fierce and deadly. Quan Ho blocks Hedon, clamping the centipede's head to start a brawl. In a few moves, the water centipede is fully subdued in Quan Ho's claws. A Shui inspects it, confirming its terrifying bite force. He notes the venom is the real reason even warriors fear it. An idea sparks: this creature could be a lethal hidden weapon. Testing Pa's breakthrough strength, a Shui crushes rock easily, body power skyrocketed. He prepares a domination ritual, turning danger into his resource. A Shui activates the blood sigil of control. Spiritual force erupts as the centipede screams. Power exceeds expectations. System alarms blare as he grits through the strain. After a life-or-death struggle, the system confirms control of a potential evolving Tian Shui centipede. Escaping by a hair, a Shui collapses exhausted, keenly aware of the life-death line. An evolution notice demands 10,000 essence. A Shui reels at the system's greed. Guided by a Shui traces a deep cave where water spirit Ganoderma once grew. In darkness appears a seated skeleton, eerie as if waiting to the end. Carved words reveal a Dakian vanguard water general, defeated and self-terminated here. Understanding the cause, a Shui opens the wooden box, accepting the karmic burden. Inside remains a glowing water spirit Ganoderma. The missing part was eaten by the centipede. A Shui vows to properly bury the senior, repaying battlefield grace. Holding the Ganoderma, he knows it's the chance to cross the 50-gate mark. After sharing with pets, a Shui keeps his portion and swallows it without hesitation. Cool spirit energy floods his body, surging essence shakes his foundation. The system panel opens with many evolution options. New phase unlocked. Fusion hits the threshold. A Shui comprehends a new talent: water leap dash. Spiritual energy explodes. A monkey spirit manifests behind him, power spiking wildly. Red fire-like water streaks across his back, marking irreversible metamorphosis. Stabilized, a Shui heads to the shore to test his new strength. Poor direction control sends him straight into rock, powerful, but stamina draining. The system hints at evolution into water walk 1,000 miles, igniting ambition. Water control jumps by 800 Jin, a massive power leap. Evolution choices for pets appear, foreshadowing a terrifying water beast lineup. With the river right approaching, a Shui knows this breakthrough isn't coincidence. A week later, early winter settles on the village. The great wave is about to rise. Someone pounds the door, urging a Shui to the river sacrifice, so with no delays allowed, he sets off immediately. Knowing it's deadly, a Shui summons a deciding it should secretly tag along to hide his power. A turns into a bracelet, the only disguise subtle enough to fool the villagers. A Shui shows up smiling, masking his inner vigilance to avoid suspicion. At the river altar, villagers gather in force, carefree as the ritual nears completion. In the crowd, a girl in red stands apart, her sharp senses already tingling with danger. A grotesque head peeks from an alley as the mountain ghoul silently stalks the ritual. Starving for human flesh, the mountain ghoul fixates on a Shui with crazed hunger. A Shui steps onto the altar as leader, instantly becoming the focus of all eyes. He recites the prayer flawlessly, keeping every trace of unease buried. The ritual goes smoothly, making everyone even more careless. An old friend suspects a Shui has changed, sensing his aura is no longer the same. A monstrous shadow crawls onto a rooftop, unnoticed by the distracted crowd. A Shui senses ominous Kai and instantly identifies it as a mountain ghoul. Recalling records of man-eating ghouls, a Shui knows hesitation means massacre. The girl in red panics and points, her fear finally alerting the crowd. Exposed, the mountain ghoul leaps down, choosing a head and hunt. It roars at the crowd, sending villagers scattering in terror. A Shui shouts for everyone to run, knowing the ghoul targets the weak. The girl gets lost in the chaos, her cries turning desperate. The mountain ghoul spots her, locking on by predatory instinct. Smelling a child, it charges with lethal speed driven by hunger. Jie Shuang dives in and shields the girl, saving her by a hair's breadth. With no escape, Ji Shuang throws a dart, gambling everything on one strike. The mountain ghoul notices the weapon, and the death match truly begins. It dodges easily, proving it's no ordinary monster. The beast closes in, death only a breath away for Ji Shuang and the girl. Cornered, the friend screams for Shui as a last hope. At the instant claws descend, condensed water blocks them. A Shui finally acts. A Shui rushes in, stalling the ghoul while closing in to attack. He slams the mountain ghoul into the ground, desperate to suppress it fast. Dust settles as a Shui pins the beast, everyone still alive for now. Earlier, a Shui exploited the key: his power needs water, and the ritual provided plenty. He kicks up waves to carve a path, boosting his speed. Merging with the water, a Shui flashes in to strike just in time. A mountain-crushing punch detonates the ground beneath the ghoul. Holding it down, a Shui orders the girl taken away, cutting off its prey. As the dust clears, the mountain ghoul vanishes, triggering a Shui's alarm. Seconds later, it ambushes from close range. It's not dead yet. The monster tears wildly, forcing even a Shui to his limits. Seizing a perfect beat, a Shui counterpunches with killing intent. Though wounded, a Shui locks the ghoul's arm to set up the finisher. Both friends stab its ribcage, the mountain ghoul's fatal weak point. Hit true, the ghoul howls as its combat power collapses. A Shui gives it no recovery, kicking it flying without mercy. He summons Au, Toxin being the perfect seal on a weakened foe. A ewe bites its throat, venom nearly erasing its ability to fight back. The mountain goal visibly weakens, villagers daring to edge closer. A shui hurls a wooden blade with perfect force, piercing the goal clean through. Not stopping there, a shui delivers the crushing final blow, ending the menace for good. The mountain goal, still pinned, mutters spells, making a shui realize the fight isn't over yet. Villagers panic as the talking monster shatters their faith in sanity. Unlike them, a shui sees opportunity, judging the goal's value higher than its danger. A shui draws his blade, aiming to end it cleanly and repurpose the monster for the bigger plan. He beheads the mountain goal for the river god, turning it into the perfect sacrificial offering. The goal's head is placed on the altar, giving the ritual a whole new meaning. A shui reviews the win, knowing his skin realm breakthrough and body fusion were decisive. He eyes a ewe on his wrist, aware its lethal poison was the final insurance. The system appears as the Riverflow Scroll Old Crossing unlocks his path to divine evolution. Village Headley brings a doctor, since a shui's wounds need urgent treatment. The doctor is stunned by the armor, its rare material hinting a shui isn't ordinary. After examination, the doctor confirms a shui broke through the skin realm, shocking everyone. The villagers rejoice with pride as a shui becomes the village's new pillar. A jay grows jealous, realizing the power gap is now impossible to close. Village Headley anxiously asks about the monster's origin, fearing a repeat disaster. A shui explains the mountain goal was lured by blood ki from large gatherings. He warns more goals may exist, suspecting a deliberate goal-breeding plot. Someone recognizes the head, it resembles the madman Zhang who vanished earlier. Piecing clues together, a shui sees the truth alchemy was just a cover for raising goals. He decides to head to Pingyang County to find his master, as this is beyond village scope. Days later, a shui reaches Dayang Prefecture to report the grave incident. Before his Xinyang, a shui recounts everything, suspecting the Zhao residence is behind it. He asserts the link between the mountain goal and Zhao residence isn't coincidence. Xinyang reassures him, saying his master already controls the bigger picture. At a goal stronghold, a golden horned anomaly appears, heralding a greater upheaval. Master Yang Dongxiang manifests in blazing authority, personally suppressing the Xie forces. A shui stays at the martial hall, as Xinyang fears a ghost brood sect counterattack. Watching his wounds heal, a shui knows timely nourishment stabilized his combat state. Though unhappy being held back, a shui endures, valuing safety over rash action. A sneak attack is casually swatted aside by shui, his post-battle reflexes razor-sharp. Senior brother Hu appears, deliberately ambushing to test a shui's strength. He openly challenges a shui to spear training, probing both moves and foundation. A shui responds seriously, treating every exchange as post-breakthrough refinement. Senior brother Hu presses relentlessly, using experience to force a shui on defense. A shui counters in time, skin realm power flaring to withstand the barrage. Disarmed, a shui nearly loses balance, the skill gap still obvious. He charges into close combat anyway, refusing to retreat even at positional cost. Senior brother Hu halts, confirming a shui skin realm breakthrough by speed and force. Hu mentions destiny, sensing a shui walks a path meant for no ordinary man. After training, Hu confirms the Zhao residence investigation aligns perfectly. He warns clues were intentionally leaked, hinting at manipulation behind the scenes. Hu gifts the reverent mirror art, reserved for skin realm cultivators. A shui reads it immediately, knowing its key to controlling full-body ki and blood. Hu reports the spirit weapon is complete, pushing a shui toward a new power tier. The scene shifts to the Ghost Brood sect, where evil schemes quietly brew. A mountain goal is chained underground, warped by cultivation and radiating malice. Lin Gaidong escorts innocent villagers, forced into service and torn inside. Seeing children captured, he wavers as the scene hits his moral limit. A lord declares the pill materials ready 3 days later. Living humans will feed the goal. Cries echo through the dungeon, as countless levs await their sacrificial end. A gravely ill man wheezes to the young master, his fading life wrapping danger in riddles. He mentions spirit weapons and their masters, warning that weapons amplify true nature. Cut to the forge, where senior brother Lu begins refining the spirit weapon that will define future combat. Runes flare on the metal as spiritual power activates, pushing the weapon into formation. A shui uses blood to claim ownership, since spirit weapons only accept lifebound masters. A firebird manifests from the blood, shocking both man and weapon with its sentience. The spirit weapon resists fiercely, its strong while making control deadly. Senior brother Lu declares the forging complete, the weapon finished but violently temperamental. A shui hefts it, the terrifying weight proving it's no ordinary arm. He pulls the spear from stone, his aura completely transformed by the surge of power. With the spear in hand, a shui feels a bloodline bond. The weapon truly recognizes him. He heads to the yard to test it, needing rapid adaptation for the coming fight. A shui names the spirit weapon Fu Ba, its will etched to suppress evil. Senior brothers Hu and Shu arrive, bringing crucial intel from reconnaissance. Senior brother Shu reports locating the Ghost Brood sect's lair after tracking suspects. He noticed black-clad figures moving in daylight, their odd behavior exposing clues. The lair is near Faiwa Temple, an ideal hiding spot for a cult. The seniors decide on a direct assault, unwilling to let goal breeding continue. Senior brother Shu warns a shui to expect bloodshed. The road ahead is hostile. A shui grips Fu Bai and accepts the fight. This isn't a battle he can avoid. Inside the lair, chained mountain goals still mutter, the evil ritual far from over. The spirit weapon is described as half-real, born to hunt blood in darkness. Senior brother Lu tests the spear with flames, forcing its will into submission. One thrust shatters walls and floors, its might dwarfing normal weapons. Two masked figures enter the ghoul prison as the next phase begins. Steward Jung inspects the captive ghoul, pleased it still feeds well. He caresses it like a child, the bloody price of his dream of ascension. Jung's twisted smile shows he'll sacrifice anything for his grand ambition. At night near Fawa Temple, cultists escort civilians to the chosen sacrifice site. The leader barks orders knowing one mistake ruins the Emperor's plan. A Shui and the seniors close in secretly, markings confirming this is the lair. Guided by a blackhound's sharp senses, they advance unseen. The dog suddenly goes berserk, smelling dense danger ahead. A Shu notices senior brother Shu vanish, already handling another target. Cicero drops a brute, sparing more innocents. Cultists panic and shout alarm as the ambush breaks their formation. Senior brother Lu charges first, seizing initiative before encirclement. He smashes through doors amid dust, overwhelming power terrifying foes. A Shui witnesses the galloping horse Geos might, the martial gap painfully clear. Senior brother Hu drags a Shui into battle. This is true life and death tempering. A sneak attack is stopped by an arrow, sus remote support flawless. All seniors strike together as the fight becomes a full purge. Trapped in tight quarters, a Shui is targeted since a long spear is hard to wield. A Shui explodes in counterattack, Fuba sweeping down multiple enemies at once. Senior brother Lu orders hostage rescue, civilian levs outweigh pursuit. In the dungeon, cultists collapse in panic as faith utterly shatters. One man breaks under guilt, past massacres crushing his mind. He kills a comrade and flees, desperate to redeem himself by saving family. Zhengxiang appears to suppress chaos, refusing to let cowards ruin the plan. He orders all mountain ghouls released, determined to turn the mountain into a blood-soaked hell. Zhengxiang grits his teeth, realizing he's fallen into a trap as constant redeployments ruin the situation. Even so, he bets on the secret passage, believing timely retreat still leaves room to counterattack. After clearing the stronghold, senior brother Lu senses abnormal blood key, suspecting hidden danger remains. In the forest, a Shui leads the Blackhound searching, suspecting hostages are still unrescued. He finds a suspicious cave door, its sealed design screaming secret passage. Reading the hound's reaction, a Shui opens it, sensing living presence inside. The moment he enters, the door slams shut. A Shui is sealed inside a perfect trap. The system triggers the subduing Mountain Damon's quest, declaring this his destined battlefield. Rewards flash up, each martial tier boosts talent massively, forcing a Shui forward. In the dark, swarms of lesser mountain ghouls emerge. This passage is a sealed gill nest. A Shui smashes his spear into the ground, knowing only total slaughter leads out. He charges in first, eager to test his recent training gains. The first ghoul is kicked flying, his physical strength far beyond before. The system logs progress as each kill pushes the quest deeper. A Shui hurls the spear straight through a ghoul as Fu Ba shows true might. Progress climbs as a Shui grows smoother, battle rhythm accelerating. Numbers keep jumping as ghouls fall in heaps within the cramped tunnel. Blood-soaked, a Shui roars for more battle intent, hitting its peak. Another swarm rushes in, sheer numbers denying him any pause. Progress breaks 30 as a Shui fully masters Fu Ba in combat tempo. Just as it seems done, a human voice sounds behind the real player appears. Zhengxiang emerges laughing madly, shocked by a Shui's explosive growth. A Shui faces Zhengxiang, refusing to let him escape with seniors nearby. A wall explodes, revealing a gigantic mountain ghoul, Zhengxiang's final trump card. Thrilled, Zhengxiang unleashes the beast as the true deathmatch begins. Three brothers rush over on bad intuition, despite others downplaying the threat. Senior brother Lu grows wary of a galloping horse-level ghoul, forcing full-speed rescue. A Shui faces the giant ghoul, calling it his deadliest peril since rebirth. Its power nears the galloping horse realm, leaving a Shui only one choice: fight to the death. Unwilling to lose his new life, a Shui steadies himself and charges spear first. The ghoul strikes first with savage blows, dragging a Shui into lethal rhythm instantly. Remembering past life sickness, a Shui turns suffering into fuel, refusing fear. Under relentless pressure, he dodges nonstop, surviving on reflex and will. Crushed beneath a massive arm, a Shui braces with his spear to avoid being pulped. Using the rebound, he forces the ghoul back, stealing a fragile breath. The ghoul pursues ferociously, but a Shui leaps high, dodging a wall-shattering punch. Both charge at once, killing intent surging as each seeks instant death. A Shui stabs through the ghoul's arm, drawing a roar of pain and rage. The trade-off is brutal. A Shui is punched into a wall by sheer power gap. Lying in rubble, a Shui knows is completely overmatched without a variable. In despair, he sees the gap clearly. One mistake means death. The system suddenly settles the quest, opening a reversal at the critical moment. Divine Lord Fusion is granted. Martial talent skyrockets and damage surges. Racked with pain, a Shui still chooses fusion, gambling everything to live. His consciousness is dragged into an illusion as new power awakens. In darkness, a colossal water dragon appears, divine aura freezing a Shui in place. A Shui's soul merges with the Divine Lord, facing the rule-breaking water dragon in absolute majesty. In reality, Zhengxiang smirks, convinced a Shui is already finished. Zhengxiang orders the kill, pushing the situation past the point of return. The mountain ghoul swings a fatal punch at a Shui as the life or death instant erupts. At the life or death instant, a Shui's eyes blaze dark gold, signaling fusion power awakening. A massive explosion erupts around a Shui, shockwaves forcing the mountain ghoul back as the tide turns. Zhengxiang panics at the uncontrollable twist, unable to grasp this sudden power's origin. From the dust, a Shui steps out with Divine Lord bearing, standing still yet terrifying all foes. Golden eyes and icy presence crush the mind, forcing the ghoul to face primal fear. Back in the cave, a Shui looms before Zhengxiang, killing intent almost tangible. A Shui raises two fingers, dark energy gathering. This ends now. He drags Zhengxiang and the Ghoul into an illusion realm, seizing absolute life and death control. Standing on churning water, Zhengxiang panics, realizing he is trapped in another's domain. Terrified yet desperate, Zhengxiang orders the Ghoul to attack, clinging to false hope. The Ghoul charges roaring, while Shui stands still, letting it walk into the trap. With emotionless eyes, Shui casually twirls his spear, showing total realm dominance. One light spear sweep shatters the Ghoul's assault like brushing off dust. Before Zhengxiang's eyes, the Ghoul's arm disintegrates, freezing him in horror. The Ghoul dissolves in despair, rushing toward its father and begging, yet doomed. Losing his only child, Zhengxiang collapses as all obsessions crumble. As the power fades, Shui collapses too, his body drained by divine cost. Hatred erupts. Zhengxiang grabs a stone to kill Shui in mad rage. An explosion outside interrupts, forcing Zhengxiang to halt. Senior brother Lu storms in with others, confirming a brutal battle occurred here. Seeing Shui's state, all realize the junior brother shattered his limits to survive. Amid chaos, Zhengxiang escapes, obsessed only with surviving for another chance. On the run, Zhengxiang is blocked by Lin Godong, crazed by family loss. Without words, Lin Godong slits Zhengxiang's throat, ending schemes and hatred alike. Blood sprays as Zhengxiang dies in despair, fitting end for a man of tragedies. Afterward, Lin Godong leaves in emptiness, still lying to himself that family might live. Amid crushing pain, Shui vaguely sees a figure with oppressive aura appear. The dream god turns with furious killing intent, carving fear deep into Shui's mind. Shui jolts awake, gasping in pain, realizing it was a post-battle dream. Looking around his master's room, Shui knows he was saved. The deathmatch is over. The system announces successful fusion with Divine Lord Bailing, opening God-linked martial path. Propping himself on the spear, Shui feels his body and foundation utterly transformed. Doubled martial talent deepens insight. Every spear touch now reads force clearly. Spiritual energy surges within, cultivation progress shocking even Shui. Barely 2 months and yet nearing breakthrough, Shui credits the trapping cauldron chants. Hu Shixuan and Shu Shixuan visit, confirming Shui woke safely. Shui hides the giant Ghoul truth, claiming he fainted after defeating Zhengxiang's Ghoul. Hearing Zhengxiang died on sight, Shui grows suspicious of the real killer. The seniors close the case, urging Shui to rest as the next plan nears. After changing clothes, Shui returns home, stunned by how much it's changed. His old shack is rebuilt into a spacious courtyard, villagers busy helping. Village Headley offers donations, honoring Shui as savior of the whole village. Shui refuses personal gain, turning funds into wages and food, earning deeper respect. Thanks to Shui, the Yang Martial Hall postcards, restoring temporary peace. Seeing the new home, Shui thinks his father would have been proud. Holding memories of his father, Shui vows to live on and live well. At night by the old riverbank, Shui prepares to retry the path that nearly killed him. Stepping into water, the river glows beneath his water control awakens. Shui strolls atop the water, fully commanding it with newfound confidence. Cut to Zhao residence, where old Zhao bows before the High Envoy. The game is out of control. Zhao Loi reports Shui led men to wipe out over 100 mountain ghouls, instantly alerting the High Envoy. The High Envoy erupts in fury as the base is exposed just before success, the grand plan slipping control. Sensing danger, the High Envoy orders boats prepared to return to the sect at once. Only after seeing the envoy off does Zhao Loi show his true face before his son. Staring at a fruitless apple tree, Zhao Loi speaks in cryptic, calculating metaphors. He claims a barren tree still has value since it lures birds and beasts as bait. The truth surfaces. Zhao Loi saw Zhengxiang and Lin Gaidong as mere expendable animals. His son is horrified, realizing every tragedy was coldly premeditated by his father. Zhao Loi admits the sect and Ghost Brood sect are disposable, like a rotten tree. He hands his son a wooden box, ordering it delivered to Lang Xiaozi as the next move. The Zhao family slips away overnight, leaving Hong Jiajun to take the fall. At Yangtua Martial Hall, Shui arrives to cheers and outright worship. Rumors snowball, claiming Shui soloed dozens, no hundreds of mountain ghouls. Hearing this, Shui guesses the source and knows his fame is being dangerously inflated. The seniors report the Zhao residence sent someone with gifts for Shui. Opening the box, Shui finds land deeds and crucial letters inside. Zhao Loi uses valuable deeds as compensation, buying favor while cutting ties clean. Senior brother Lu finds secret letters detailing Ghost Brood sect routes and bases. The group decides to seek their master's orders this time. No enemy escapes. The story rewinds a month, revealing the conspiracy's true origin. Old Lu is ambushed from behind while delivering food, killed without warning. He dies in a pool of blood, still clutching the lunchbox meant for his family. The killer impersonates Old Lu, grinning crookedly as he resumes deliveries. Old Lia's body is possessed, recalling today was the final day of orders. An evil voice urges action, foretelling tragedy for the mother and child. The voice rises from watery shadows, declaring host and spirit are one, fate inescapable. Shui and senior brother Zi Shixang meet ferryman Old Lu, whose aura alarms Shui. Old Lu rows cheerfully as they leave shore, danger quietly tailing them. Seeing the mother and child wave, Shui steels himself to keep them out of disaster. Observing from behind, Shui confirms Old Lu is a Ghost Brood sect demon preparing to strike. Midriver Zi Shixang exposes him, forcing the reveal with no escape left. Unmasked, Zi Shixang draws his blade, saying only flaying the disguise ends this. The demon rages. Its plan was one day from completion, now ruined. Evil Kai erupts, half its face scarred and twisted, killing intent bear. Sensing galloping horse realm aura, Shui chills but braces to fight. Zi Shixang charges first. The demon counters fiercely with twin blades. Shui stabs from behind, forcing it back and breaking the opening assault. Just as they gain ground, another hidden guard bursts from the water. A chain sickle sweeps in, locking A Shui's arm before he can react. The assassin yanks hard, dragging A Shui straight into the river enemy territory. On the boat, the disguised demon presses Zi Shixiang, fully splitting the battlefield. Bound underwater, A Shui faces drowning as the assassin trusts terrain advantage. The assassin drags him deeper, convinced the water makes him the apex predator. The tide flips the assassin as yanked back, smashed into rocks. A Shui smiles, curious how far his fusion boosts underwater power. Seizing control, A Shui declares this his domain, pressure flooding his gaze. The chain changes owners, the assassin tasting prey's fear for the first time. Spear in hand beneath the waves, A Shui claims absolute advantage, this is home ground. The assassin gambles on speed, believing fast enough strikes can still kill A Shui. Before the fatal blow, A Shui blocks with one hand, signaling the ending is already decided. A Shui unleashes water domination, water spirit power erupting to bend the battlefield to his will. Vanishing in a blink, A Shui punches from nowhere, smashing the assassin's jaw cold. The assassin is sent flying, stunned that a galloping horse realm fighter is suppressed underwater. Without pause, A Shui yanks the chain, dragging the foe back for execution. Channeling water ape force, A Shui delivers the finisher, slamming the assassin to the riverbed. Defeating a galloping horse realm enemy underwater, A Shui confirms absolute advantage and turns to rescue. Leaving the dying assassin behind, A Shui bursts to the surface, rejoining the boat fight. To enemies' eyes, A Shui and the water beast look like river gods incarnate. On the boat, Zi Shixiang tears open the disguised ghost's human skin. As tension peaks, a hand suddenly grips the boat's edge. A Shui surfaces safely, delighting Zi Shixiang and terrifying the ghost. A Shui feigns exhaustion, claiming the assassin was eaten by a water beast to hide true strength. The water beast appears on cue, convincing the ghost it was an accident. The disguised ghost is captured and taken away, fear still gripping him. Facing old Lia's wife's hateful stare, he knows his crimes are exposed. A Shui doubts the demon's weak strength, learning it's a broken generation. Su Shixiang explains the Ghost Brood sect has declined, elites hiding deeper. Cut to Zhao residence, where High Envoy Deng Li appears with ominous aura. He produces the Langyan Grand Pill, his hope to revive the Ghost Brood sect. A tree trunk suddenly smashes into the study, opening a direct assassination. Senior brothers Lu and Shu reveal themselves, officially engaging the High Envoy. Though blocking, the High Envoy is blasted into a wall, proving the clash deadly. Senior brother Lu senses the foe is one realm higher, forcing a swift kill. Rising amid demonic Kai, the High Envoy declares both must die today. After channeling demonic power, he shatters a stone pillar bare-handed. He glares contemptuously, mocking the brothers as unworthy opponents. At peak pressure, an arrow suddenly shoots straight at the High Envoy's face. He clamps the arrow, boasting his defense is unbreakable. The arrow splits, spewing silver smoke into his eyes, stealing initiative. Blinded and screaming, the High Envoy opens a decisive counter window. Senior brother Lu seizes it, unleashing a full-force punch to the face. Smashed into the ground, the High Envoy bitterly admits the plan was exposed long ago. Cornered, he pulls out a pill, swearing revenge and mutual destruction. The pill is shot and shattered by Hu Shixiang, seemingly cutting off survival. But the High Envoy had already swallowed another, flipping the table instantly. After dosing, his body mutates as aura skyrockets. Demonic power overwhelms, forcing both brothers to retreat. He completes gillification, becoming a true mountain goal at late Langyan realm. Meanwhile, A Shui rushes over, unaware the battle has spiraled out of control. Reaching Zhao residence, A Shui and Zi Shixiang sense terrifying demonic aura. Realizing seniors are in danger, both charge in at once. Inside, Lu and Hu struggle against the ferocious Ghoul High Envoy. Insulted, the Ghoul grows crazier, killing intent soaring. He recounts hunted refugees, justifying his path to becoming a Ghoul. The surviving child was named Huang Jun, the High Envoy himself. Back to the present, Ghoul Deng Li and senior brother Lu clash head-on. Powers collide violently, shockwaves tearing through Zhao residence. As Hu Shixiang falters, A Shui's voice rings out, reinforcements have arrived. Zi Shixiang takes the bow, ready to intervene at Langyan tier battle. Watching the clash, A Shui sees senior brother Lu must break the deadlock fast. Pressured nonstop by Shangxi, the sixth senior brother dodged and calculated, forced to open the heart weak point for a finishing blow. As the sixth senior brother closed in, the brothers sensed up and fired the first arrow to bait the target. Watching the arrow speed, the sixth senior brother sensed something off. This wasn't the fourth junior brother's real power. The arrow snapped before Shangxi's chest, failing to pierce his protective Kuai and boosting his smug overconfidence. Seeing that reaction, the sixth senior brother got it. Little fourth was faking it to lower Shangxi's guard. The sixth senior brother slammed full force into the chest point, scrambling Shangxi's energy into chaos. Shangxi's body-wide protective Kai destabilized, and panic hit him for the first time. Right then, the third senior brother quietly compressed all his power into the second arrow, waiting. Timing the sixth senior brother's strike, the third senior brother loosed the bow for the endgame. The arrow punched through Shangxi's throat, shattering defense and turning dominance into fatal injury. Shangxi spat black blood, disbelief crushing his pride in a single breath. A Shui saw through it all, the first arrow numbed and distracted, hurting Shangxi into the trap. Shangxi collapsed motionless, arrow planted in his chest, lesson learned too late. The sixth senior brother ordered him bound, even beaten. Shangxi still had interrogation value. A Shui shuddered, heart destroyed yet alive. Shangxi was a true aberrant monster. Restrained, Shangxi howled grievances about in a lightless cave. The third senior brother stepped in coldly, warning him not to cloak crimes with justice. He gripped Shang Shi's throat, forcing him to face that selfish desire isn't paid with innocent blood. Rage surged, barely leashed by the third senior brother's reason for a greater goal. As Shui realized the third senior brother was an orphan of a massacre, this hatred ran deep. The sixth senior brother intervened, prioritizing the big picture, and escorting Shang-Chi to the martial hall. Seeing the mood sink, the sixth senior brother cracked jokes to pull the third senior brother back. Watching the three brothers share joy and sorrow, Shui finally felt team and family. Scene shift as Shui trained alone, drenched in sweat, mind still unsettled. After the battle, handing over Shang-Chi let Xinyang swap land deeds for silver, opening a new phase. Receiving 150 taels of premium silver, Shui reeled at the value in Xinyang's shocking generosity. Knowing premium silver beat common silver, Shui fondled it nonstop as the seniors teased. Back at the grounds, Shui trained harder. Constant demons laying had stabilized his strength. The fourth senior brother arrived with news Shifu was back and called them for merit rewards, making Shui nervous. Cut to the dining hall. Shang-Chi, tightly bound, still screamed to kill, resentment unspent. Facing the seniors, Shang-Chi spewed mad curses, exposing utter derangement. Two bound cultists watched the group eat Xinyang's special psychological punishment. Seeing the order run smoothly, Shui felt Xinyang was not just rich but formidable. The sixth senior brother revealed Xinyang hailed from a Hangzhou noble clan, illustrious since the first emperor. Mid-story, Shifu appeared. The table snapped to attention as the air turned solemn. Shifu praised the disciples' actions, admitting they handled the danger well. He coolly announced the two evildoers would be handed to the authorities, their fates sealed. Shifu bluntly said Shang-Chi lived only because he was useful, otherwise he'd be dead already. He declared that after the three-court joint trial, Shui's group would be richly rewarded. Shifu placed a wooden box on the table, saying it was a private apprenticeship gift from the eldest senior brother to Shui. Scene shift. Soldiers gossiped that the eldest senior brother beat Lan Yan's expert to seize a treasure, then gifted it away. The eldest senior brother smirked, knowing their thoughts, and chose his own way anyway. Gazing afar, he wondered only if the little junior would like the gift. Back to now, Shui opened the box, light spilled out and hooked his eyes instantly. Inside lay a saber radiating fierce aura. Shui recognized a rare spirit weapon. Owning two spirit weapons now, Shui grasped both the value and expectations on him. Drawing the blade, he saw the engraving Qing Lan and learned its true name. With Qing Lan, his close combat weakness vanished, boosting confidence in life-or-death fights. Returning to his room, recalling days skipping class for mountain demons, Shui decided to hit the library again. At the library, Shui met Si Hengyi, the old teacher who'd long heard of his recent deeds. Si Hengyi led Shui to meet the head librarian, since the improved phonetic method needed top-level review. In the library tower, Shui faced the head librarian for the first time and sensed he was no ordinary scholar. The head librarian bluntly admitted Shui's phonetics truly shocked him. He showed the upgraded draft, proving it wasn't copying but a full evolution. Shui quickly saw the new structure systemized consonants, vowels, and syllables far beyond the original. Catching that depth, Shui judged the head librarian a true academic old fox. The head librarian stated that without Shui's groundwork, they'd still be stuck in archaic literacy. Si Hengyi revealed the merit was submitted to the patriarch, opening the door to rewards. Shui thanked both elders, realizing backing changes one's entire path. Si Hengyi explained the imperial power ladder, from the holy emperor down to the 3 halls and 2 cabinets. He revealed the patriarch was Grand Scholar Li Habai, one of the court's 5 grand scholars. Si Hengyi judged Shui's phonetics as not mere technique, but a shove that could alter an era's fate. He reassured Shui the holy emperor favored reform, so imperial backlash was unlikely. Scene shifts to court. All officials assembled, the holy emperor enthroned, pressure thick in the air. As court was about to adjourn, someone stepped out to submit urgent business. Li Habai presented the new literacy method, declaring it far superior to traditional character splitting. He formally announced the phonetic system's name before the full court. Under fierce attacks, Li Habai fired back angrily, calling conservatism true stupidity. Su Yijing voiced support, stating phonetic combination beat character carving in practice. The holy emperor suppressed the hall with authority, forcing all officials into silence. After questioning, he set a 6-month deadline to test the new method. Li Habai declared flatly, "Don't believe it. Test it, facts will speak." He refused credit and pushed Shui into the spotlight as the real creator. The holy emperor noted the name Liangju, finding him intriguingly worth attention. He assigned the phonetic method to the 6th imperial prince for trial, closing court. Dongshang reviewed files, stressing that reporting to the capital required Liangju to register his fate pattern. He patted Liangju's shoulder. Fate patterns don't decide all, but for him it was a rare chance. That reminder made Liangju think of establishing heavenly fate, where fate reflects potential and future paths. The higher the fate pattern, the deadlier the mark, rewarded with top-tier powerhouse potential. Like Marshal Saint Zhang Longxiang, bearing twin defiant seals enforced through leaf-or-death wars. Even Marshal Saint Yuanji died from a wrong choice, proving high fate doesn't guarantee good endings. Dongshang warned sternly, fate patterns aren't fixed, people and circumstances shape them. Liangju cared about one thing only, how to accurately test his fate pattern. Dongshang explained it required fate incense script, stronger incense, truer results. Everything was ready except one key item, 100-year treasure fish blood. Success uncertain, but his master's dedication deeply moved Liangju. Leaving Liangju calculated fast, finding treasure fish was his specialty, just needed a new boat. Arriving, Liangju looked up at the signboard, confirming this was the right shop. In this era, fishing guilds controlled boats poor fishermen could only rent to survive. On inspection, Lang Ju noticed many boats looked new but were patched countless times. Lin Shi suddenly appeared with family in tow, clearly seeking Lang Ju for a purpose. Lin Shi offered guild backing, profit shares, and a boat, but Lang Ju rejected him outright. Calmly, Lang Ju said he understood big fish eat small fish but wanted no part in that whirlpool. He stated plainly reputation matters only with strength, carrying the big picture was beyond him. Unable to sway him, Lin Shi changed tactics, asking Lang Ju to handle a nearby spirit monster. The Jianghuai wetlands split shallow and deep waters. The deadlier the zone, the richer the resources. Powerful spirit monsters entering shallow waters must report to the river deity or face great shun suppression. Standing at the bow, Lang Ju judged spirit monsters often drifted near the deep shallow boundary. He assessed quickly the foe wasn't too strong, and he was no longer weak in shallow waters. Thinking of 100-year treasure fish born only in deep waters, Liang Ju smiled and set sail. Lang Ju dove into deep waters and instantly saw resources here dwarf the shallow zone. After hours of searching without 100-year treasure fish, impatience crept in. Spotting waterbreath grass, Lang Ju knew its value but forced himself to pass. Seeing rare meteor stone clams, he drooled briefly, then reined himself in. Surrounded by chances, Lang Ju stayed focused. Today was only for the 100-year treasure fish. A face suddenly glowed in warning, snapping Liang Ju into full alert. A colossal creature emerged, stunning him as battle instincts ignited. Recognizing a 7-star savage Qixing man, Liang Ju knew it hit a true deep-water spirit monster. He deduced the 100-year treasure fish likely rivaled this monster in strength. The 7-star savage lunged, forcing Liang Ju to leap away by a hair's breadth. Channeling Qi, Liang Ju coolly judged the monster wasn't enough to threaten him. He counterattacked in a flash, slamming an imprint into its body and drawing a howl of pain. Mid-fight, Liang Ju assessed himself water control nearing 900 jin. Just as he seized the upper hand, a shadow struck from behind. The new creature's grotesquely long mouth rang bells. This was the rumored spirit monster. Having his target fish stolen, Liang Ju's killing intent flared. No one was leaving alive. He was certain only death would vent his rage and reclaim the chance. Losing the treasure fish stung, but this giant promised an even bigger jackpot. The thought of devouring it to upgrade spirit essence thrilled Liang Ju. He kicked the seab hard, launching himself like a cannonball. As the long beak stabbed in, Liang Ju roared for Quan Tu to coordinate the counter. He seized the energy flow, priming the decisive strike. Liang Ju drove forward at full power, icy eyes locking onto the beast. The blow pierced its belly, blood erupting as it screamed in despair. Liang Ju showed no mercy, pressing in with brutal close combat. With unwavering gaze, he raised his weapon, ready to finish a fully dominated fight. Locking the target, he cleaved cleanly, ending it without hesitation. Seeing the bisected corpse, Liang Ju judged this win easier than before, nearly cost-free. Feeling the power surge, he realized his full output far exceeded expectations. Remembering his pets, Liang Ju laughed and decided to share the meat. The monster meat roasted in thick smoke, little flesh, but massive yield. One bite triggered the system wetland, essence skyrocketed, value confirmed. A small bite gave over 20 essence points, stoking Liang Ju's excitement. Knowing the moment had come, Liang Ju vowed tonight would mark a major breakthrough. Essence piled up, fusion hit 100, and the wetland spirit completed its upgrade. The system panel flashed, every upgrade condition was accidentally fulfilled. A glowing bronze cauldron appeared, shocking Liang Ju with how smoothly it went. He didn't hesitate, activating refinement and bracing for the next change. Massive power crashed down, dizzying him as he lost control and collapsed. Upgrade confirmed. The new wetland spirit granted dragon sinews and tiger bones, power exploding. Fusion complete, floods of water-type talents awakened, evolution fully patched. After the violent change, Liang Ju lay flat, body screaming in pain. Exhausted, he still knew this upgrade was worth every risk. Struggling up, Liang Ju felt Kai and blood triple, physique fully reborn. One punch cratered the ground in smoking ruin, startling even himself. Regaining calm, Liang Ju planned his path, outer body forging paired with inner methods. Ki and blood blazed as he confirmed entry into the Bone Gate realm. Dragon sinews and tiger bones eased the breakthrough without prior foundations. It'd be lethal. The system suddenly announced beast spirits could evolve, opening a new growth wave. Without hesitation, Liang Ju chose full evolution of Phi, and the beasts vanished into transformative light. Bo Ki Dong evolved violently, burning massive essence to become the Hornwood Spear Crocodile, stunning Liang Ju. A Fei also upgraded into the dread-slaying Tiger Leech, its power spike proving this evolution was no joke. Reading the system panel, Liang Ju saw fusion difficulty jump tenfold, forcing a new farming strategy. He gained wetland spring consolidation and water nurturing vitality, slowly absorbing essence to patch evolution costs. Watching both water beasts finish upgrading, Liang Ju couldn't hide his satisfaction. He confirmed these beasts were his survival trump cards for greater dangers ahead. Gripping the bronze cauldron, Liang Ju vowed not to miss a single power-up option again. Standing on the boat at sea, he clearly felt water walking over waves was worlds apart from basic water control. Seeing the two beast spirits surface behind him, Liang Ju realized they'd learned new special skills. A phase evolution granted high-speed burst abilities, far deadlier and more agile than before. Peaky Dong gained regeneration, becoming a lifeline in prolonged battles. Liang Ju tested a water prison, swirling currents, trapping fish proved his water control was razor-sharp. A new spirit monster triggered non-stop system warnings, forcing Liang Ju to raise alert levels. Armed with stacked water-type divine skills, Liang Ju felt future hunts would never be passive again. With things settled, Liang Ju chose to return to the fishing guild, ending the Deepwater Run. A gigantic tail suddenly slammed down, announcing Liang Ju's return to everyone's shock. Before Lin Shi, Liang Ju stated flatly the spirit monster was dead, debts cleared. Two grown men froze, unable to believe Liang Ju survived and finished the job. Taking the money pouch and leaving, Liang Ju regretted missing the 100-year treasure fish. In the crowd, Liang Ju was called to appraise a strange fish just caught. One glance confirmed it, a 100-year azure-backed dragon carp worth at least 45 taels. To test his fate pattern, Liang Ju prepared a blood rite, solemnly starting the heavenly fate ritual. He sliced his hand for blood without hesitation. This step decided his future path. Dongxiang guided him directly, instructing Liang Ju to press his right hand onto the fate incense script. When finished, the blood formed a perfect ring, signaling an extraordinary fate pattern. Tension filled the air. One more move could seal Liang Ju's destiny. Dongxiang decisively stamped the flow seal, forcing Liang Ju's true fate to reveal itself. The result shocked all. Both a primary seal and a heavenly seal appeared simultaneously. The seniors rejoiced. Even one seal meant a future, let alone two at once. Yet suspicion arose. The positions of Liang Ju's primary and heavenly seals were reversed. The theory was confirmed. The heavenly seal wasn't dead matter but a branched dragon form. Dongxiang grimly declared great calamity as it tied to the fate of the ancestral flood dragon. Either Liang Ju would dragon ascend through endless peril, or another would ascend and clash with him to the death. The verdict stunned everyone. Such a grand destiny must be built on the other's corpse. Liang Ju calmly reassured them, knowing panic now would only break morale. His unyielding spirit pleased Dongxiang, who believed this youth could truly become a dragon. The waterline primary seal was both bane and boon, but paired with a water heavenly seal turned swamps into advantages. Dongxiang decided to register the fate with the authorities, officially placing Liang Ju under imperial watch. Liang Ju felt secretly thrilled, knowing that primary seal was an ancient baleful god, not a mere beast. At the same time, in the Hall of Governance, the ancestral flood dragon fate caught the Ninth Five's eye. Qing Shang studied the seal, pondering whether Liang Ju would become the dragon, or be devoured by one. The king wondered if Liang Ju was worth the dynasty's gamble. Back at the martial hall, Dongxiang deliberately set harsh trials to keep the young disciples from slacking. Zhang Song was ordered to reach martial master within a year. Great talent meant great pressure. For Liang Ju, Dongxiang demanded only breaking the 3 gates, a test of martial foundation. Liang Ju burst his spirit power, declaring he'd broken the flesh gate, forcing all to reassess him. He confidently claimed that being one step ahead meant he'd become a true martial master within a year. Dongxiang began lecturing on the Yellow Martial Emperor, revealing the origin of the supreme art to be taught. He placed a hand on Liang Ju's shoulder to transmit the art, judging him worthy to bear the method. In the Imperial Garden, Qing Shang calmly played chess, as if Liang Ju's fate were just another move. Kang Zhongguan reported sweeping official reshuffles, showing the court was forcefully reorganizing Pingyang. The Holy Emperor affirmed Yang Wush's great merit, saving Great Shun's face earned real rewards. Kang Zhongguan probed about Liang Ju, hinting whether his merits had caught imperial eyes. The Sixth Prince suddenly barged in, shattering courtly tension and dragging his father back to family mode. The Emperor bragged about his son's lightning-fast literacy, subtly signaling confidence and ease. Dropping a sharp chess move, the Emperor declared decisively Liang Ju would be rewarded because he deserved it. Outside the harbor, departure shouts rang out as multiple forces moved toward Pingyang. Zhongxi snapped at Commander Sis freelancing, showing this crew thrived on loose discipline. In the north, a mother tearfully sent her child off, knowing this trip meant life or death. The father analyzed Pingyang as a juicy prize those daring enough could flip their fate. The carriage faded away, carrying hopes of earning merit and glimpsing the Emperor. Qiu Zhuang lugged massive baggage while asking directions. Another group of martial artists heading to Pingyang. Lan Tai corrected the address to Pingyang County, implying it had become a new battlefield. Qiu Zhuang bluntly set the goal: visit the Yang Clan Martial Hall, then take it by force. Qing He brazenly occupied a martial hall, establishing a foothold amid Pingyang's undercurrents. He Ni worried about her sick father, but Qing He knew survival meant standing firm first. Once things settled, Qing He fell silent, aware someone would never witness this moment. Memories of seas of fire surged, dragging him back to the tragedy that destroyed his family in Old Hall. In the chaos, Qing He ordered Lan Tai to protect Xiniang and He Ni, choosing sacrifice. Back to the present, He Ni dreamed innocently of pastries, stark against the bloody past. Simu led men barging in to question grain stores, opening local official oppression. Using disaster relief as an excuse, he forced grain levies exploitation in disguise. He Ni and Qing He refuted him, knowing Pingyang had no refugees, exposing the lie. Shamed into rage, Simu ordered He Ni slapped and arrests made to assert power. Seeing He Ni abused, Qiu Zhuang ground his teeth, fury nearing eruption. Lan Tai hurriedly pleaded, citing his master's Western army ties to seek mercy. Subordinates checked Qi, confirming Qing He was a weakened martial artist, deepening Sima's contempt. Sima coldly declared this was Kaozhou turf, even the Western army must bow. Qing He was forced to kneel and beg, truly penniless after fleeing disaster. Simu cruelly kicked him, demanding he sell his daughter. Villainy laid bare. Lan Tai restrained Qiu Zhuang, knowing rash action would doom their master. Dropping all pretense, Simu ordered a full search to squeeze the weak dry. Finding a pittance of silver, Simu mocked them and left, humiliation lingering. After they left, Qing He asked if the hidden money was safe. He'd planned ahead. Qiu Zhuang clenched his fists, swearing revenge, rage compressed to the limit. Qing He feigned calm, knowing only patience buys a counterstrike. Simu swaggered off to plunder Yixing, convinced no big shots lurked there. The next day an envoy convoy thundered in, shaking all of Pingyang. The people saw Dragon and Phoenix banners and imperial decree had arrived. The convoy headed straight for the Yang clan martial hall, clearing all doubt. Liang Ju was summoned to the main hall, forced to halt cultivation for the awaited moment. He stepped out excited. Days of grinding had finally reached harvest. The envoy loudly proclaimed the court's imperial edict to Pingyang. The decree established Pingyang as a county, creating the River Deity Office and Demon Hunting Bureau under Dongshang. Dongshang received a key post, gold rewards, and 3 Dragonblood steeds. Liang Ju was granted junior 8th rank status and 100 taels for suppressing the Ghost Mother cult. Thanks to the phonetic system, he was also awarded a Dragonblood steed favor beyond imagination. Handing over the edict, the envoy stressed the duty to pacify Pingyang for the throne. The emperor praised the phonetic method, hinting more rewards awaited Liang Ju. The envoy revealed new appointments coming headed by an old acquaintance of Dongshang. Dongshang quietly doubted the incoming old acquaintance, sensing fresh upheaval looming over Pingyang. The envoy hinted Pingyang might not stop at county rank. The court's ambition ran deeper. Liang Ju instantly saw it. Jumping from town to county was rare enough. Becoming a prefecture was wild. Ambition ignited as Liang Ju chose Pingyang as the stage for his rise. Deep underwater, a fey hidden terror, signaling silent mutations spreading through the waters. Giant demonized swordfish appeared, proving riverborne disasters were far from over. Liang Ju noticed streets packed with strangers, and realized refugees were flooding into Pingyang. An acquaintance rushed to find Liang Ju, dragging him to the council hall for an emergency. Simo brazenly acted in the magistrate's name, forcing grain levies under the banner of justice. 1 due of rice or 50 coins drove poor folks straight into despair. Simo cited endless disasters, turning state burdens into tools to squeeze the masses. He coldly demanded more from Pingyang, using peace as an excuse to loot. Liang Ju stepped in bluntly, pointing out Pingyang's safety came from people risking lives against ghosts. Yixing folk erupted in cheers at Liang Ju's arrival, seeing him as their sole pillar. Hearing Liang Ju was Dongshang's disciple, Sima's face went pale at the rising reputation. Liang Ju dropped the kill shot. Chaozhou County was abolished. Those orders were fake. Liang Ju's icy stare forced Simo to face reality, leaving him tongue-guided. Egged on by subordinates, Simo moved to arrest anyway, betting Dongshang wouldn't intervene for a disciple. At peak tension, pounding hooves shattered the standoff. A Qiyun rider loudly called for Liang Ju of Yixing, stunning everyone. Simu froze, realizing it was a Cloudhawk cavalry officer from Lu Pianmen. Liang Ju calmly gave his name, stepping forward to face the top enforcer. Simu guessed Lu Pianmen was probing the Ghost Mother cult, and Liang Ju was central. He flashed a vicious grin. Confident officials always crushed commoners. Lu Pianmen with Cloudhawk cavalry embodied supreme investigative power enough to grind corrupt officials. Qiyun, dismounted with bone-tempering presence, rank alone suppressed the crowd. Liang Ju stood straight and saluted, knowing this was a martial official of the Sanfa Sai. Simo hastily claimed connections, trying to borrow authority for leverage. He pointed at Liang Ju, slandering him as a Ghost Mother cult suspect to kill with borrowed knives. Qiyun calmly asked how to handle it, clearly letting Simu dig his own grave. Simu eagerly suggested torture for confession, sure a commoner could be crushed. Qiyun laughed. Such blatant framing ran straight into imperial law. Drawing his sword, he warned that slandering officials was a capital crime. Qiyun coldly pressed charges, forcing Simo to face slander of a junior 8th rank official. He declared Liang Ju a river deity junior 8th rank by law. False accusation meant death. Simo went numb, finally realizing he'd kicked solid iron. Yixing folk exploded with joy as Shui had truly become an official. Liang Ju coldly confirmed the law demanded execution, sealing Sima's fate. Liang Ju kicked to stop chaos, preventing them from killing each other to escape blame. He handed everything to the cavalry, sending the corrupt officials back for investigation. Only then did Liang Ju ask Qiyun's real purpose. Qiyun presented his token, naming himself a Sanfa Sai cavalry acting on orders. He formally invited Liang Ju to join the Sanfa Sai, opening a power path. Liang Ju flatly refused, unwilling to be chained by another post. Despite persuasion, he held firm, stance crystal clear. Setting another goal, Liang Ju chose to dive the Huai River for heavenly treasures. The deeper he went, the greater the danger felt, forcing constant alertness. Entering deep waters, the sight ahead made Liang Ju jolt. The system warned of dragon-blooded aura, confirming a Haidir anomaly. Liang Ju was shaken. True dragonkind really existed beneath the Huai River. Liang Ju steadied himself fast. This river-bottom dragonblood wasn't a true dragon yet, so not instant despair. Knowing an Yaoan Daemon King lurked below, he chose to retreat. This dungeon was way above his pay grade. Liang Ju headed back to Pingyang. Today was a critical breakthrough day for a senior brother. At Huangwen Mountain, a two-headed monster appeared, throwing Qu Zhuang straight into a life-or-death fight. Qu Zhuang didn't retreat at all, charging in headfirst with terrifying battle instinct. Qing He saw Qu Zhuang's real talent, far stronger than his rough exterior suggested. Qu Zhuang unleashed a brutal flurry of punches, leaving the monster zero room to counter. Blood Q ignited around Qu Zhuang, forming pressure almost like protective Kui. Qing He confirmed it, a gifted physique, the kind born different among martial artists. The monster fell quickly, proving Qu Zhuang's cross-realm combat power. Qing He summed it up cleanly. Qu Zhuang was invincible within the same realm. Liang Ju sensed the blood exchange pill was ready. Zhang Song was about to break the blood gate. At the key moment, Zhang Song opened his eyes and charged into the blood gate. Dongsheng acted at once, guarding the process and sealing acupoints to prevent blood Kai backlash. Liang Ji knew blood replacement was vicious. Ordinary people died on the first try without solid foundations. The blood gate was a life or death trial. Pass it and blood key sword, fail and you die. Black blood was forced out, a clear sign. Zhang Song crossed the death line. Zhang Song rejoiced at becoming a martial master, easing tension across the sect. Liang Ju alone stayed silent, knowing his own blood gate would be even deadlier. Outside the martial hall, crowds lined up. Yang Clan martial hall fame spread across Pingyang. Liang Ju was hailed as a rising genius, crushing all sides right after joining. His feat of clearing mountain ghosts turned his name into Pingyang's safety guarantee. Many dreamed of joining the hall, believing the right master meant a real future. Lan Tai longed for his own hall to be this lively, seeing it as true success. Qingyi replied calmly days ago he wouldn't have dared dream of this. Qingyi planned to leverage Qu Zhuang's name to elevate the hall. Bone gate meant miracle potential. Qu Zhuang was instantly ready to move, always in combat mode with zero warm-up. Liang Ju felt regret just short of breaking the bone gate, one lucky break away. He had to count pos blood gate pill money if short, only Shifu could help. Sensing movement outside, Liang Ju raised his guard. Trouble was guaranteed. Qu Zhuang showed up aggressive, not here to register, but to stir trouble. He bluntly denied any registration, openly revealing another agenda. Qu Zhuang declared a challenge to the Yang Clan martial hall, spiking tension instantly. Zhang Song sensed something off. No hall was dumb enough to challenge now. Suzhou saw through it. The challenger used same-age rules to avoid martial masters. Win and gain fame, lose and save face. Clearly a calculated move. The real target surfaced fast. Little junior Liang Ju. Qu Zhuang claimed to be 16, using age parity to force the fight. A Kun stepped out to fight, bearing the title. Jade faced free hand of the hall. A Kun struck Qu Zhuang's shoulder, no reaction whatsoever. That total nullification panicked. A Kun is hit was completely ignored. Qu Zhuang countered cleanly, dropping a Kun in one move. Hua Bao, a dual-gate martial artist, was also crushed miserably. The crowd reeled. Qu Zhuang one-shot a dual-gate fighter. Voices called Liang Ju's name, forcing him out to stop excessive force. Qu Zhuang exhaled in relief. The one he waited for, Liang Ju, finally appeared. Liang Ju realized had been investigated. This fight was fully prepared. Recalling Qing He's orders, Qu Zhuang's task was to deliberately draw Liang Ju out. The plan was set knowing Liang Ju was kind. They had to win this way. Meanwhile, Liang Ju was still tempering blood ki, making the clash of preparations inevitable. Qing He strikes only after feigning fairness, aiming to mess with minds and seize initiative early. Emotionally baited, Qu Zhuang mocks the Yang Clan dojo, convinced they're all hype and no bite. Liang Ju calmly introduces himself, knowing fists not mouths decide this fight. Watching afar, Hu Shixiang spots Qu Zhuang's innate titan bone physique from his overwhelming blood energy. Trusting brute strength, Qu Zhuang charges first, hoping to steamroll for a quick win. His straight punch whiffs as Liang Ju stays ice calm and unfazed by speed or pressure. Qu Zhuang follows with a savage kick to the shoulder, sure one hit will crush all. Liang Ju counters light and fast to the gut, exploiting Qu Zhuang's reckless offense. Vomiting blood, Qu Zhuang crashes back, baffled by how hard his being suppressed. Cornered, Qu Zhuang goes berserk, yet every strike is cleanly dodged. Liang Ju snaps a kick to the chin, eager to end things before momentum shifts. The massive body flies and slams down, proving the skill gap is painfully obvious. Liang Ju advises surrender, having held back and never seeing Qu Zhuang as real danger. Refusing defeat, Qu Zhuang rises and unleashes full power, knowing he has not shown his true strength. His aura explodes, shaking the stands as the innate titan bone physique finally awakens. Qing He mocks and warns, convinced this power could get Liang Ju killed. Qu Zhuang stomps and shatters the arena floor, forcing Liang Ju into a corner. He roars about titan bone supremacy, believing raw power decides all. Qu Zhuang charges in debris and dust, ready to trade injury for a final blow. Liang Ju stands firm, confident surviving this hit will flip the entire battle. The clash detonates the arena as pure Yidan meets head and stunning spectators. In the smoke, Liang Ju blocks barehanded, his true strength still hidden. Liang Ju coldly declares his own innate martial bone, the real source of dominance. Qu Zhuang's tragic past surfaces as his deformed birth cost his mother's life. His father's gruesome death deepened fate's curse, raising him in hatred. Labeled a calamity, Qu Zhuang was stoned and exiled by villagers for his parents' deaths. At 12, during drought, the village head tried to sacrifice him to heaven. Branded guilty for nothing, Qu Zhuang never knew his crime, only endless hatred. Bandits slaughtered the village, silencing curses but erasing his only home. Escaping, Qu Zhuang was treated as merchandise by bandits due to his freakish body. When hope died, his master and senior brothers appeared, refusing to sell him off. Qing He gently acknowledged his talent, the first to call his power a gift. Warm sect titles replaced old curses here. He wasn't a bad omen. Memories explode as Qu Zhuang attacks madly, this fight being his reason to exist. Two powers collide violently, terrifying even the crowd as Qu Zhuang exceeds norms. Liang Ju seizes a split-second opening to counter, knowing delay means death. Knockback yet standing, Qu Zhuang forces his body upright by sheer will. Obsessed with victory, Qu Zhuang falls into demonic obsession. Losing means losing everything. Qing He panics and begs surrender, knowing this state will kill his disciple. Ignoring all, Qu Zhuang stands again, determined to restore the dojo sign himself. Screaming of senior brothers and sisters, he refuses to lose his final lifeline. Liang Ju realizes mental intervention is needed, or Qu Zhuang will die. Liang Ju unleashes White Dragon manifested aura, the only way to sever the madness. His mental force shatters. Qu Zhuang falls back as his last will snaps. Liang Ju exhales in victory, knowing he crossed a rather thin line. In his master's arms, Qu Zhuang apologizes, having wagered his life on this fight. King He softly consoles him survival matters more than any win. Dongshang lowers his stance, fully aware this victory was hard-earned. Afterward, Liang Ju trains in silence, sensing his power is still not fully unlocked. Watching Qu Zhuang, Liang Ju grows certain his innate martial bone means a far longer road ahead. After the arena fight, Liang Ju regulates his ki as victory brings silver and prep for the next cultivation step. Finishing practice, Liang Ju hears the dragon blood horse has arrived, secretly arranged by his master. Dongshang summons Liang Ju to see the horse, chosen as a long-term combat partner. The fairy red horse appears. Dongshang warns it's temperamental but terrifying if subdued. Liang Ju touches the dragon blood horse cautiously, unsure his dominance is strong enough yet. Seizing the moment, Liang Ju boldly petitions his master, hiding a dangerous discovery. He tells of a lake with a great demon's cave and golden light, suspecting a true dragon legend. Without hesitation, Dongshang agrees to exterminate the demon, confident it's within his power. Dongshang fully trusts his disciple, knowing everyone has secrets not worth prying into. At the lake, Liang Ju points out the guarding spirit beast, having scouted but not dared go deeper. Dongshang assigns disciples to seal exits, aiming to end this cleanly without variables. Drawing his sword, Dongshang muses it's been long since full force, invisible pressure rising. The Qingfei sword cleaves down, water surging as the realm gap utterly crushes the spirit beast. From the waves, a dark shadow lunges out. Liang Ju warns it's clearly a great demon. Dongshang orders interception, as the wounded demon can still counterattack desperately. Lu Gang charges with a straight punch, refusing to let the demon break formation. Dongshang slashes repeatedly. The demon can't fight back, lacking real combat experience. Sword sheathed, Dongshang declares the fight over the great demon dispatched shockingly fast. Dongshang orders the demon's tendon extracted, as it greatly boosts cultivation talent. Seeing the strange golden tendon, Dongshang grows suspicious this isn't normal demon anatomy. Simultaneously, Liang's system reacts, sensing rare dragonkin aura. Dongshang confirms it's a true dragon tendon, a treasure coveted even in true manifestation realm. He warns dragonkin aura drives nearby creatures mad, making the treasure extremely dangerous. Sensing more fortune below, Dongshang leads the group to the lake bottom. Following his master, Liang Ju guesses other demons fled, unable to endure the expert's aura. Reaching the Huai River bottom, Liang Ju is stunned. This is clearly the great demon's lair. Dongshang's gaze locks ahead, certain the glowing object is the key treasure. A massive skeleton appears. Dongshang instantly identifies it as a frost dragon, tension spiking. Confirming frost dragon remains, all realize why the sturgeon had dragon tendon. It absorbed residual power. Recalling the battered sturgeon, Dongshang concludes it grew by siphoning leftover frost dragon strength. Dongshang warns months later the remains would be fully digested, and gone. This chance was nearly missed. With gains secured, Dongshang orders immediate withdrawal. This place isn't safe to linger. He commands careful distribution of spoils, as treasures of this tier demand caution. Under shocked city gazes, Dongshang escorts the sturgeon back, heavy aura impossible to hide. Part of the meat is given to refugees, as Dongshang won hoard fortune for the dojo alone. Liang Ju receives a Tuzhang dragon tendon, proving his master's regard for his potential. Without delay, Liang Ju cuts and absorbs the dragon tendon, eager to test his limits. The system erupts. Liang Ju's body burns as he breaks straight into the Bloodgate realm. Dragonkin patterns engrave onto his back, marking a special inheritance. A new divine ability activates, Liang Ju's mind drifting through chaotic void realms. Awakening, Liang Ju finds himself on a rooftop. The breakthrough warped space itself. The system reports soaring river favor, as the Huai River acknowledges his breakthrough. Standing high, Liang Ju knows has entered Bloodgate, yet sees many uncertainties ahead. Far away, Afi is dragged into a whirlpool cave, still clutching a toy to trade for fortune. A mysterious being allows Afi to choose a treasure, accepting the toy as valid currency. A red feather reaches Liang Ju, revealing whirlpool's link to another great demon's domain. Watching the raging undercurrent, Liang Ju deduces it's a toad great demon's divine art, danger, and chance alike. At the seaport, peace shatters as a colossal ship arrives. Panic erupts as people recognize Jingdun Suhibo's descent, heralding incoming turmoil. Aboard the ship, Zhongxi rages at failing to find his target, signaling a new plotline begins. Zhongxi feels irritated and exhausted with Wei Lin around, as his presence suffocates the atmosphere. Liang Ju checks the system and finds Dragon Tendon push progress past halfway, unlocking a second evolution chance. A cold voice suddenly speaks behind him, startling Liang Ju since he sensed nothing at all. The stranger seals Liang Ju's acupoints instantly, proving the power gap leaves no reaction time. Turns out he just wanted directions to Pingyang County, yet his method screams top-tier expert. Freed again, Liang Ju senses unfathomable aura depth rivaling Master Dongshang. Yulong flashes a gold token, claiming Vice Commander of Pingyang River God Office, instantly tensing Liang Ju. Liang Ju panics, realizing this is his incoming superior, wrecking all prior calculations. He hurriedly salutes, knowing River God hierarchy allows zero mistakes. Yulong reveals deep ties to Dongshang. His father was once saved at deadly cost. Yulong suddenly warns Dongshang once stay peaceful, signaling political undercurrents rising. He explains his vice role balances Wei Lin, a direct imperial arrangement. Yulong's gaze turns icy, mentioning Dongshang's son's death tied to the Wei clan. At the harbor, Dongshang waits in silence, fully aware this is the emperor's power chessboard. Wei Lin snubs him deliberately, using authority to humiliate Dongshang. The tense afternoon eases when Yulong returns to the harbor. Zhangxi and Ranying happily greet Yulong, revealing close faction ties. Yulong introduces Lang Ju as Dongxiang's disciple, pulling him into power circles. Ranying casually teases Lang Ju, lightening the mood and flustering him. Yulong cuts in sternly, assigning Zhangxi to guide Lang Ju through appointment and gear. Zhangxi leads like a seasoned tour guide, openly friendly. Along the way, Zhangxi explains River God Office rules, independent authority, and river patrol duty. Officials whisper about Lang Ju, sensing his backed by someone untouchable. They enter the vast lake sector where Lang Ju will serve. Zhangxi hands over the dolphin control token, marking Liang Ji's official entry. Lang Ju studies the dolphin pearl, his first artifact tied directly to River God authority. The dolphin leaps joyfully, sensing a far stronger master than before. Liang Ju softly accepts it as a partner, knowing he needs real support now. Yulong leaves reassured, the handover fully under control. Alone, Liang Ju realizes connections are external, only strength truly supports him. He grips the pearl, reminding himself arrogance kills power, preserves freedom. Watching the dolphin, Liang Ju considers domination, it's a water creature after all. He channels ability, darker energy pooling in his hand to test limits. The system confirms domination triggered, hitting a key condition. Red runes bloom, domination succeeds as the dolphin evolves into a dolphin king. The dolphin shows off its new look, Liang Ju casually names it Tu Yuan. Two more dolphins arrive, Tuan's mate and child wanting to follow. Watching three dolphins swim, Liang Ju knows this exceeds standard river god advantages. Leaving the river god office, Liang Ju visits the market to hire staff for his new estate. A broker spots his status instantly, the dragon blood horse is way too eye-catching. Liang Ju states his needs plainly, a driver and a chef. Hearing Zhen Yixing, the broker realizes Liang Ju is the rumored benefactor. He thanks Liang Ju for saving his daughter from the Zhao residence, spreading Liang Ju's fame. The market erupts as someone shouts an official's arrival. A massive cavalry escort enters with a palanquin, silencing the crowd. The broker explains they're Qingzhou horses, mounts of high officials only. Liang Ju recalls Yulong's words, Pingyang is becoming a prefecture, drawing power struggles. The new magistrate appears, Jian Zhongyi, icy and instantly suppressive. Yulong once said Pingyang is prime meat, whoever controls it shapes the future. Liang Ju's final assessment turns wary, Jian Zhongyi is extremely dangerous. Surrounded by spider demons, a deep male voice rings out as Jian Zhongyi reveals himself guarding a llama. Jian Zhongyi claims Qingzhou magistrate, his icy aura proving his no mere paper-pushing official. He probes the llama about the ghost mother cult, wanting to compare Yin Fiend Old Mother with Snow Mountain Buddhism. The llama scoffs, claiming great Sun Vajra Buddha power alone can suppress such heresy. Jian Zhongyi sneers at the chaotic state, annoyed that weak factions slow his cultivation path. The llama suddenly spots Lang Ju in the crowd, eyes greedy as if eyeing rare materials. He proposes refining Lang Ju's bones and tendons, saying that physique could skyrocket Jian Zhongyi's strength. Jian Zhongyi warns not to touch the dragonblood horse, it's an imperial grant, crossing a hard line. Elsewhere, a water beast erupts forth, leading a squad of aquatic demons into attack. Seeing the spirit sturgeon appear, Liang Ju smiles coldly as long-awaited target finally surfaced. Riding Tu Yuan the dolphin, Liang Ju charges first, ordering encirclement and extermination. The spirit sturgeon is beheaded. Liang Ju scores major merit, earning non-stop praise. After a week of slaying water beasts, Liang Ju amasses minor merits and heads to cash in. He slams beast heads on the table, bluntly demanding merit exchange. Simao confirms Liang Ju holds 10 minor merits, qualifying for cultivation resources. The list shows chicken crest fruit and red wind harmony fruit, both prime Qian blood tonics. After weighing options, Liang Ju trades for 12 chicken crest fruits to maximize gains. He keeps 2 merits as loadier underwater techniques aren't tempting enough. Eating 1 fruit nets 200 watermarsh essence, way beyond expectations. 12 fruits yield over 1,000 essence, massively accelerating accumulation. Liang Ju feels his blood gate expand, one more push could break into a new realm. Calming down, he returns to rest as academy exams await tomorrow. Reading late, he realizes the Jiangguai Marsh is vast enough to nurture top-tier beings. Comparing world maps, Liang Ju suspects true dragon legends might not be fiction. Back at his grand estate, Liang Ju exhales, finally feeling what it's like to have a place of his own. In the quiet night, a cold voice blocks his path, instantly putting him on alert. A grandmaster appears mysteriously, speaking as if long prepared, forcing caution. The master skips alms and directly asks about taking disciples, blurring chance and trap. Sensing pure bearing yet no aura, Liang Ju knows this man is anything but ordinary. The master produces a secret art, pointing out Liang Ju's rare physique that elevates common methods to peaks. He claims 30 years could reach the true self realm, and offers so huge it raises alarms. Liang Ju politely declines aloud, yet wonders why such realms are near impossible for others. The master speaks of blood and bones of countless cultivators, forcing Liang Ju to face cultivation's brutal cost. Hearing the master is from Qingzhou, Liang Ju feels familiarity and doubts such casual recruitment. The master recounts Liang Ju's past good deeds, proving long observation, not whim. Only then does Liang Ju relax, confirming this isn't a scam like his past life memories. The master casually states his at the true self realm, shocking Liang Ju with the vast gap. With a single water control move, the master proves it, erasing all doubt. Seeing Liang Ju witness true divine power, the master presses him to choose discipleship. Liang Ju flatly refuses, he already has a master and won't enter risky bindings. The master reveals his true aim, a damaged Danshan, needing refuge to heal and evade pursuit. Knowing such damage is severe, Liang Ju still agrees to host him, sensing no malice. While cultivating Qi, Liangji's bone seal glows, a Azure dragon manifests as power erupts. The master recognizes rare Arhat root bone, certain Liangju had elite guidance already. Sensing disturbance outside, the master knows jealous foes won't allow a genius to break through. He suddenly appears at the door, stunning the black-clad intruders with his presence. Coldly, he declares he'll escort them to meet Buddha, placing their lives on the scale. Inside, Liangju secretly rejoices as 10,000 victory origin stabilization breaks into spirit fixation realm. A perfected spirit platform boosts comprehension and smooths cultivation, yet sharpens future pressure. Gazing at the sunbright radiance, the master is convinced Liangju holds heaven-defying fortune. An Azure Dragon Phantom coils around a Shui, the technique auto-runs nonstop, boosting strength even without active cultivation. Finishing the breakthrough, he opens the door relaxed, now holding initiative over his cultivation path. Meeting Fang Yi and Lu Shu, a Shui quickly recalibrates their reliable servants arranged by the broker. With a teasing remark, the Grandmaster hits the mark, tacitly confirming yesterday's leap was massive. Hearing of a Prenoon library contest, a Shui eats breakfast in a panic, nearly missing a critical deadline. Realizing the fallout of skipping, he tenses up, knowing this step affects status and the bigger game. An escort surrounds a purple-robed figure. A few words reveal lofty rank and a habit of paving roads with money. Zhongyi casually tosses out 1,000 taels in notes, forcing the library's scale to bend to his will. The sum dwarfs a magistrate's stipend, shocking all and flaunting oppressive luxury. After the flex, Zhongyi leaves coldly, eyes of awe and greed lingering behind. He goes straight to the inventor of phonetic joining, proving a Shui was on his radar all along. Realizing it's the county magistrate, a Shui raises his guard. This visit is anything but simple. Despite doubts, a Shui steps forward to claim his identity, keeping control of the situation. Zhongyi rewards him with silver notes, buying goodwill while quietly cornering him. Heeds his master's advice and accepts refusal now would only draw more attention. Zhongyi grandstands about governance, crafting a virtuous image to mask darker schemes. He boldly predicts a Shui will take first place, unintentionally piling pressure and worry on the master. Pen in hand before the exam, a Shui freezes his scholarly weakness exposed instantly. An obscure poem sends him spiraling. Martial talent can't patch literary gaps. Zhongyi's probe uncovers a Shui sky-high martial aptitude, hardening plans to exploit him. Mistaking him for dual-cultivated genius, Zhongyi schemes long-term use. One glance at the paper leaves Zhongyi stunned. Every calculation veers off course. His cruelty surfaces as he plots to use a Shui as a ritual cauldron for empowerment. Facing the Lama, Zhongyi rages at the botched plan, demanding answers for rogue action. The Lama admits failure. A Shui is guarded by a true manifestation expert, escalating everything. Hearing this, Zhongyi grows uneasy. The board has outgrown his math. Wary, he stresses protocol failure is tolerable, insubordination is not. The Lama coolly declares those people offerings to the longevity heaven, freezing the underlings in despair. Blood stench fills the air as the Lama presents a blood-soaked porcelain bowl, bareface evil ritual. Zhongyi coldly reiterates reward and punishment rules, legalizing sacrifice by authority. Outside, a villager runs screaming across the water. News of water monsters spreads in the dark. Crying and shouting that the whole village is dead, despair drives him back to save any survivors. Lu Kun's trembling silhouette fades into night, wails heralding disaster over Wushui town. Meanwhile, a Shui trains as the system replays 3 core essentials of dragon: subduing, tiger taming, Vajra. He realizes dual cultivation is possible, mind and body together without conflict. Feeling the blood gate about to break, a Shui knows he lacks only the right trigger. He quietly preps pills, timing the breakthrough to minimize risk. Browsing redeemed manuals, his eyes light up at Shang Shui Lingji. Seeing it perfectly suits his water-aligned art, a Shui locks onto the target. He snaps the book shut and seeks management for a suitable major mission. The manager reveals a freshly posted task, deliberately reserved for a Shui. Hearing investigate Chenot, a Shui's instincts scream danger. The image of beauty Chun-Ni at a banquet resurfaces center of a decadent plot. Lu Ji brazenly offers a concubine to the magistrate, trading flesh for protection. He kneels and flatters, fabricating Chun-Ni's infatuation to force acceptance. Lu Ji's sinister grin shows he claims his merely fulfilling others' desires. He slips in mention of his son's patrols, hinting ties to the Chenot case. The magistrate leaves to indulge, ignoring governance and leaving filth behind. Lu Yi fumes, resenting years of oppression under the magistrate's grip. He reveals River God Office agents have entered Pingyang. Undercurrents are about to collide hard. Hearing of a traitor, Lu Ji grits his teeth, deciding no one trespasses on his turf alive. He coldly declares that entering this domain means only death, killing intent fully unleashed. At the river dock, an old fisherman kneels begging for tax delay, or his whole family will starve. Tianfu kicks the old man away, crushing weak pleas with brute force. He claims to protect people from the Fish King, painting exploitation as heroic duty. Protection fees are glorified as life-risking merit, forcing people to pay to stay alive. Sushu protests the crushing fees, saying common folk can't survive this burden. Tianfu spits venomously, telling him to sell his child if his broke. Sushu breaks down, calling the Fish King tax a daily nightmare beyond endurance. Luji arrives on cue, instantly flipping the power balance with backing. One Shot asserts absolute authority, turning victims into troublemakers. Luji pretends to advise kindly, offering medicine while forcing submission. Finding pity, he asks who pays tomorrow if mercy is shown today. He justifies it as waterway protection, framing thugs as indispensable forces. The Fish King tax dons a magistrate's order, turning evil sacrifices into public safety. A stone suddenly hits Yushi's head, sparking mob violence by manipulated villagers. The crowd blames the selfish old man, choosing his death to protect themselves. They swarm and beat him. Shushu shields his child, utterly cornered. Mission accomplished. Luji leaves calmly as violence rages behind. He coldly plans to sell the child if the old man dies lives as loot. Facing the River God office, Luji just smirks, confident everything's arranged. Cut to the River God office ship. Ashui sees luxury and people treated as tools. Before Ashui, Lucan wolfs food down, mirroring commoners' misery. Ashui realizes cults and mountain demons are driving people to despair. Mentioning the Fish King makes Lucan pale. There are many monsters, not one. The ship suddenly rocks violently. Ashui senses danger mid-driver. A giant fish shadow looms below, deathly pressure proving disaster isn't over. Lucan points trembling. This is the Fish King that swallowed whole fleets. Villagers wail in terror. The dead Fish King's return feels like betrayal. An old woman rushes to find her son amid chaos, family tragedy stacking high. Lucan admits he was swallowed alive. The truth drops like a blade, felling her. Grief turns to hatred as villagers vent fury on Lucan. In tears, Lucan swears he survived to report to officials, not betray them. The mob loses reason, curses raining as Lucan is driven to a dead end. Watching from behind, Luji smiles smugly. This is exactly what he wanted. Ashui realizes his oversight. The scheme was crafted to fuel hatred. Killing intent surges. Ashui concludes the water beasts are cultivated by a mastermind. His gaze locks onto Luji, the prime suspect emerging from the righteous farce. Luji instantly plays benefactor, praising merit to hide dark plots. A cruel smile flashes as he shifts blame onto Lucan to keep his hands clean. Enraged villagers block Ashui from entering, suspecting he led the Fish King here. Lucan risks his life to clear Ashui, swearing he slew the Fish King in revenge. The bereaved's cries drown reason, tension peaking with no one listening. Ashui releases pressure as aura forces the village into silence. He calmly vows a full investigation, demanding patience for a fair answer. He softly comforts Lucan, secretly arranging protection from silencing. Seeing control slipping, Luji fakes peace and hurriedly disperses the crowd. Subordinates report traces erased. Luji's sure Ashui will find nothing. Midriver Ashui realizes evidence is wiped clean. Time for another method. After calming his senses, Ashui smiles coldly. Has finally locked onto the real trail. The river surface turns eerily calm as a pod of river dolphins appears, instantly catching Ashui's eye. The dolphins swim in perfect order toward one direction, clearly controlled rather than acting randomly. Ashui deduces the mastermind is very close, waiting to strike once clues surface. Studying the fish on the boat, Ashui confirms a retreat pattern. Someone is commanding the water beasts. A strange object drops from a fish's mouth, putting Ashui on high alert as danger spikes. Recognizing a parasitic fish-loss controller, Ashui realizes the dolphins are enslaved by dark arts. Illegal beast breeding plus heretical harm to civilians marks this as an unforgivable crime. Fury ignites as Ashui crushes the fish louse, confirming he's on the right trail. Elsewhere, two figures secretly observe the dolphin pod, the real links behind the plot. Laju admits the dolphins aren't natural, everything was arranged by a major hidden force. He confesses all orders came from afar, they're just minions raising control parasites. Xiaohu grows uneasy, fearing divine retribution, yet sees no escape. Lao San suddenly appears. One sentence sends both into panic over punishment. Seeing the fish louse killed, Lao San erupts with killing intent over gang losses. Without explanation, Lao San throttles Xiaohu, using violence to enforce obedience. Laji kneels begging mercy for his nephew, exposing helplessness before brutal power. He offers a money pouch as compensation, trading everything to save Xiaohu's life. Lao San sneers payment isn't just silver but lives in his grasp. Xiaohu screams in despair that money was for his mother's medicine, but please mean nothing. Lao San kicks Xiaohu straight into the river, ruthless and decisive. Laji wails in despair, realizing he's lost everything to forces he can't resist. Lao San laughs, certain Xiaohu will die to water beasts. The water bubbles violently, signaling sudden upheaval below. A boat abruptly surfaces, freezing both men as the situation flips. At the critical moment, Ashui appears and saves Xiaohu, shattering the witness elimination plan. Ashui glares at Lao San, killing intent obvious after the attempted murder. He coldly declares himself River God Office. Bo identity alone breaks the balance. Ashui accuses Lao San of illegal beast breeding and the Fish King case, ordering him detained. Lao San scoffs, dismissing Ashui as a kid, trusting his backers to cover the sky. He provocatively dares arrest, sure Ashui won't dare act. Ashui strikes instantly, spear piercing Lao San and obliterating his arrogance. Gravely wounded, Lao San realizes Ashui's speed and strength far exceed imagination. Lao San reveals his last secret, a mother fishlos implanted inside to command dolphins underwater. Signals go unanswered, no dolphins appear, plunging Lao San into panic. Ashui smiles coldly, has already taken full control of the water beasts. He directly commands the dolphins with water arts, proving absolute dominance. Ashui declares hell beat the truth out, forcing full confession of the mastermind. Cut to Lucan comforting his gravely ill mother, hoping truth will prevail. Screams erupt outside as villagers swarm Lucan's house. Luji pretends helplessness, secretly guiding the riot. He forces Lucan to answer for villagers' deaths, pushing him as the sacrifice. Manipulated villagers unanimously blame Lucan as the source of disaster. Luji watches with satisfied smiles. Lucan is now the perfect scapegoat. Lucan desperately insists he saw the River God Office slay the Fish King, but no one believes him. The crowd grows angrier, accusing him of colluding with outsiders to doom the village. He tries explaining the Fish King wasn't finished, only fueling the flames. Luji twists his words further, turning doubt into proof. The crowd starts throwing objects as violence spirals out of control. Amid chaos, villagers decide to hold a Fish King sacrifice to appease disaster. Cornered, Lu Kun kneels and volunteers as the offering, choosing to bear the village's sins. Hearing about a sacrifice, Lu Ji felt sick, realizing this time the offering probably wasn't fish. The villagers' smiles confirmed the cruelty. The sacrifice was human, and the target was chosen. Realizing he was about to be killed, Lu Kun panicked and protested, but fear only made it worse. Lu Kun's mother rushed out to beg, ready to trade her life for a sliver of hope. Lu Kun shoved his mother away in terror, knowing her presence only made the mob bolder. The followers screamed about fairness, claiming everyone lost family, so Lu Kun must be sacrificed. Sympathy spread fast as resentment piled up, and fear of the Fish King devoured all reason. Cries to seize Lu Kun echoed, as they believed only his blood could calm the Fish King. Surrounded, Lu Kun thought only of his mother, knowing there was no escape left. The villagers coldly knocked his mother down, officially pushing Lu Kun into despair. Amid the chaos, a shoe's creature appeared, like fresh fuel on boiling fear. Seeing the water centipede, villagers panicked and accused collusion, needing an excuse to kill. Lu Ji noticed the strange beast and schemed to use it to force Lu Kun's death. At the critical moment, a Shui appeared and shouted, freezing the crowd in shock. A Shui declared Lu Kun a witness protected by the river deity, cutting off the sacrifice excuse. A Shu's cold gaze forced Xiao Li to retreat, knowing he wasn't qualified to challenge him. Lu Ji pretended to mediate, realizing direct conflict was useless and manipulation was better. He announced tomorrow's ritual and invited a Shui, believing the sacrifice boat was his stage. A Shui bluntly drove him away, refusing to hide his anger behind fake smiles. Lu Ji left with a provocative grin, certain a Shui couldn't dodge tomorrow. A Shui apologized for being late, explaining he couldn't act yet or the truth would be buried. Powerless but resolute, a Shui swore to clear the name, his final moral line. In a water cave, a Shui swallowed a spirit pill, gambling on a breakthrough. The blood gate shattered, power exploded, and a Shui entered four-gate martial master. A Shui's eyes brimmed with killing intent, as his debt with Lu Ji was due. On the boat, followers nervously asked if a Shui would come, knowing it was a trap. Lu Ji confidently said a Shui would come, claiming unspoken rules bind officials on board. Mentioning Lao San's silence, Lu Yi suspected he ran with the money, showing inner turmoil. News that a Shui arrived made both men turn in shock. He was early. Lu Ji greeted him with an eager smile, sure a Shui had no way out today. On meeting Lu Ji, faked warmth and flattery, opening a calculated social game. He invited a Shui upstairs as dirty deals need privacy. Sitting down, Lu Ji bragged the place rivaled grand halls, flaunting his power. A Shui mocked back, noting Lu Ji knew his name, proving long investigation. Lu Ji rambled, praising a Shui's feats, planning to raise then crush him in bargaining. A Shui replied coldly, seeing through the praise as coercion. Lu Ji hinted at powerful backers, warning a Shui not to meddle too deep. He offered 3,000 taels for silence, trusting money to bend principles. A Shui scoffed and refused, citing his master to force a higher price. Cornered, Lu Ji asked for a number, sensing danger in a Shui's eyes. A Shui answered with a punch, wanting justice, not money. The table exploded, talks collapsed into open mortal conflict. Lu Ji realized a Shui was a four-gate martial master, knowing he risked death to break through. Even so, Lu Ji charged back, relying on the galloping horse extreme realm for dignity. The sword shattered in a Shui's hand, crushing Lu Ji's confidence. A Shui kicked him flying, showing the gap in strength was unbridgeable. In the dust, a Shui admitted he couldn't kill yet, but Lu Kun's grievance forced action. A Shui used water control, raising waves and claiming absolute dominance. He declared dragging all to the river to fight, as he was judge over water. The boat sank, villagers panicked thinking gods descended, as the reckoning truly began. Underwater, Lu Ji gritted his teeth, trusting his galloping horse extreme realm to outlast a Shui. Confident, he chose steady tactics and charged a Shui to seize initiative. His sword hit only an afterimage, as a Shui mocked that horse legs can't cut water. Before he recovered, Kong Dong appeared, and Lu Ji realized he'd walked into a trap. Kong Dong's tail sent Lu Ji flying, shattering his plan to drag out the fight. A Fei appeared behind a Shui, making Lu Yi panic at his water beast control. As Lu Yi tried to counterattack, a Shui countered with his spear, denying any chance. One strike pushed Lu Yi back, proving a Shui was barely restricted underwater. Seizing the opening, a Shui speared through Lu Yi, forcing a despairing scream. Seeing Lu Ji intervene, a Shui ordered a water prison, blocking any rescue. In an instant, Lu Ji was immobilized, all familiar techniques useless underwater. A Shui kept attacking Lu Yi, teaching him the price of meddling. After finishing Lu Yi, a Shui turned to Lu Ji, declaring him next. They charged together, one sneering, the other raging helplessly. On shore, people watched the whirlpool in confusion, clueless about the battle below. Someone realized Lu Ji's opponent might be an official of the river deity office. Elsewhere, Zhongxi worried as a Shui had been gone 7 days, risking a missing report. At the tense moment, Commander Shu appeared, demanding a full report. The water suddenly exploded, drawing every eye on shore. 2 figures burst out. Lu Ji was kicked away, while a Shui stood dominant. A Shui coldly asked Lu Ji if he had anything left to say, crushing him at his feet. Cornered, Lu Ji screamed accusations of murder to incite the crowd. He crazily claimed a Shui controlled the Fish King, exploiting public fear to save himself. A Shui only sighed, having expected this tired blame game. At a Shui's call, Xiaohu stepped out despite Thuran, ready to reveal the truth. Lu Ji's protectors hesitated, since Xiaohu and Loju were thought missing. Xiaohu admitted he raised the Fish King, opening the expose of the mastermind. He pointed straight at Lu Ji, leaving him pale and frozen as secrets spilled. Xiaohu accused him of raising water beasts to manipulate villagers into dependence. He presented proof Zheng Tianfa's corpse still lay on the island. A trembling father confirmed it matched his son's death. Cornered, Lu Ji kidnapped a child to threaten others, revealing his true colors. When Yang appeared calling father, freezing Lu Ji as his crimes were witnessed. When Yang asked the truth in despair, his last faith crumbling. Hatred exploded as Wen Yang blamed everything on A Shui. He lunged to kill A Shui, rage devouring reason. A Shui blocked him with the spear tip, hanging Wen Yang midair as a cold warning. A Shui stared him down, saying if he reached the Yellow Springs, he'd die again. Elsewhere, bad news spread as a messenger ran in panic. Both Lu Ji and Lu Yi were dead, stunning listeners into silence. Witnesses confirmed the killer wore river deity office robes, shaking all factions. Back at the scene, A Shui soloed the remaining thugs and sat coldly amid ruins. Magistrate Meishi appeared fawning, fake praising A Shui to test his stance. A Shui cut him off bluntly, lacking patience for a power-hungry coward. He declared, kill water demons, destroy the wild gang that harms people. A Shui warned he'd submit all whale gang ledgers upward, sealing the magistrate's fate. The magistrate's men dared block A Shui, thinking officials could be threatened. A Shui barked them back, killing intent flaring as they realized their mistake. At the standoff, an authoritative voice accused them of besieging imperial officials. Yulong appeared, declaring the river deity office was not alone, flipping the board. Yulong flashed his badge as deputy commander of the river deity office, instantly flipping the situation. The magistrate and shop owner froze, realizing real power had landed on their heads. Before the thugs could flee, Yulong blocked them off, sealing every escape. Yulong acted without words, one punch crushing the last feeble resistance. With a single blow, all thugs fell. The rank gap made the outcome obvious. A Shui spoke up, surprised Yulong showed up in person so perfectly timed. Yulong lightly scolded him for being 7 days late, fearing trouble and rushing over. He praised A Shui for breaking realms to beat galloping horse worthy of Yang Shi's disciple. He admitted the case was huge, but A Shui handled it cleanly and right. Facing Yulong, the magistrate collapsed completely, the deputy commander's presence silencing him. The troublemakers were dragged away, still crying innocence and exposing cowardly despair. The physician shook his head with bad news arriving too late to save a life. Lu Kun's mother died from a shattered heart meridian, sealing the tragedy's final price. Watching Lu Kun kneel by his mother's bed, A Shui recalled his rare peaceful days. Lu Kun's simple future dreams made reality's cruelty hit even harder. A Shui closed his eyes, treating it not as farewell but a promise in another world. Yulong then called A Shui over, saying he'd prepared something interesting. He produced a dark steel greatbow, a weapon A Shui's master deemed perfect for him. A Shui recognized it as Lu Ji's weapon, now claimed by the victor. He tested the bow at once, as a true weapon must hold draw for several breaths. Feeling its terrifying weight, A Shui knew his raw strength still lagged behind Lu Ji. Yulong frankly said the bow was meant to counter Lu Ji, just never used. He reminded A Shui that weapons can be weaknesses, but sometimes flaws are needed. Yulong taught him not to be perfect, keeping flaws makes life easier. Finally, he invited A Shui for roasted cakes, ending tragedy with leftover human warmth. A Shui smiled and agreed, as a simple cake became a rare reward after chaos. Elsewhere, a Fei and Kongdong gathered by a huge clam shell, eyes full of curiosity. The shell suddenly scolded loudly, shattering silence and revealing a talking being inside. A tiny old man floated out, small in body but overwhelming in presence. The scene shifted to A Shui returning home, sighing in relief to finally sleep. He recalled a Fei's message about a treasure, still unclear what it meant. Discovering the backyard pond linked to an underground river, A Shui understood their presence. Seeing the two spirit beasts sleeping in, A Shui laughed. Peace still remained here. Suddenly, A Shui froze as a creature beyond comprehension appeared. The old man claimed to be an elephant air clam, angrily rejecting being called a river clam. Its ability to speak shocked A Shui, as this was far from normal. A Shui apologized for a Fei and promised to find a suitable home for the spirit. He realized he faced the legendary elephant air clam, extremely rare. The clam spirit arrogantly pointed at A Shui's face, keeping him fully alert. A Shui quickly saw it wasn't the shell talking, but the spirit within. He understood his spirit sight came from the marsh cauldron that changed him. The old spirit admitted it was object-born, unable to move freely like living beings. A Shui recalled ancient texts, confirming objects can gain spirit under special conditions. Kongdong stepped forward to remind him, hinting at something more important. Kongdong presented a strange item, opening an unexpected new clue. The old spirit gasped, recognizing it as a mirage worm from legendary Immortal Isles. He spoke of the 3 immortal islands and mirage worms that drag people into vivid dream realms. Still, he admitted it was all legend, never truly verified. A Shui chose to rest first, deciding to handle things tomorrow, leaving the spirit behind. That night, the mirage worm released a scent, quietly pulling A Shui into a strange dream. A Shui woke under a gloomy alien sky, realizing this didn't match sleeping safely at home. A familiar voice sounded behind him, as the dream dragged back the one he least wanted to see. Lu Ji appeared insane, claiming he'd wait in the Yellow Springs, forcing A Shui to face his nightmare. Lu Ji sneered that death was certain, making A Shui suspect this was a dreamscape. Scanning around, A Shui saw Wushui Town twisted and wrong, confirming the illusion. Before he could think further, Lu Ji charged madly, forcing instant reaction. Cornered, A Shui gambled his only card, summoning the Emperor Lord to fight within the dream. The Emperor Lord struck, terrifying pressure making Lu Ji panic and question A Shui's identity. A Shui confirmed it was a mirage worm dream, yet the Emperor Lord's power felt terrifyingly real. A shock jolted a Shui awake, drenched in sweat, battle echoes still vivid. He pondered the Emperor Lord's final words, sensing it recognized the marsh cauldron within him. A Shui concluded it was all mirage worm incense and forcibly ended the illusion. Dangerous as it was, he saw the dream as perfect training, with real combat feedback. A visitor arrived with official gifts, pulling a Shui back to reality with fresh excitement. 2 water-type treasures rewarded his merit, paving the way for further growth. Water essence surged inside him, hot and cold cycling, boosting cultivation with wild exhilaration. A strange seal surfaced within a Shui, shocking the elephant air clam spirit pale. Realizing an ancient secret, the clam knelt, swearing to die protecting a Shui's identity. A Shui sighed and ended cultivation, knowing his situation had fully changed. The clam chose to stay, teaching ancient mysteries after seeing boundless potential. Deep down, it knew that compared to a Shui's origin, even true dragons were ordinary. The scene cut to a dark prison, where desperate screams hinted at another looming tragedy. A mysterious figure tempted revenge through power, at the cost of everything. The prisoner was revealed as Lu Wenyang, hatred driving him onto a dead-end path. He swore through clenched teeth to kill a Shui, a dark hook setting the next calamity. Knowing 3 true dragons once appeared, a Shui re-examined his flood dragon identity, as the Dragon King was long dead. The old man admitted truths that raised suspicion. How did a cripple know Dragon Palace secrets? His evasiveness only confirmed hidden forces manipulating events. A knock interrupted, signaling mortal troubles reaching the river deity's door. The village chief came to discuss post-sacrifice issues, as migrant chaos forced him to seek a Shui. He wanted to squeeze money from new rich arrivals, dragging a Shui in as pressure broker. Pushed into a bind, a Shui refused as a river deity couldn't meddle with money. Seeing failure, the chief shifted plans, proposing multiple ritual heads to spread blame. The scene shifted to the majestic imperial palace, where real power moved in shadows. The emperor was displeased that the newly crowned martial saint hid away playing chess. Ningho admitted hiding his identity to lure enemies out before a killing blow. The emperor asked directly about the Ghost Mother sect, a threat to the dynasty's core. Hearing they sought immortality secrets, the emperor couldn't hide his unease at the ultimate taboo. Asking if it was found yet showed fear the power balance was about to break. Ninghu soothed him with lifespan limits, noting immortality seekers often doom themselves. Seeing the enemy lacked a true-spec grandmaster, Ninghu planned a swift annihilation. He requested to choose the attackers himself, as only saint weapons ensured stability. The emperor decisively ordered execution, as cold-blooded paranoia could not be allowed. The chessboard collapsed, signaling fate overturned and a plan doomed from the start. On a boat, a Shui was pulled into an emergency campaign as 3 bureaus jointly mobilized. Knowing the target was the Ghost Mother sect, a Shui knew this purge allowed no errors. Zhongxi pointed out the lifespan flaw. Aged true aspect power was just lingering embers. Deploying 2 saint weapons showed resolve for total slaughter, no variables tolerated. The Merchant Guild's presence made a Shui wary, sensing hidden agendas beyond the purge. This action wasn't just extermination, but a warning to the world to bow its head. A Shui saw through the Merchant Guild's huge investment, knowing charity wasn't the goal, profits worth risking lives were. Partnering with officials let the Merchant Guild boost product prestige, while quietly growing grassroots power. Realizing this was a knee grab, a Shui stayed alert when Liang Shan spotted him in the crowd. Wei Xiao approached arrogantly, making it clear he came with no goodwill. Knowing Wei Xiao was an adopted son, a Shui was sure he carried orders to test and recruit him. Wei Xiao flattered a Shui's merits, trying to trade fame and gain for loyalty. A Shui cut off small talk coldly, as more circles meant deeper traps. Wei Xiao revealed his hand, tempting with a Huanglong pill, confident profit could sway him. The absurd price caught a Shui's eye, since Huanglong pills were ultra-rare rewards. A Shui pretended to agree, demanding the treasure up front to expose Wei Xiao's lack of real authority. Exposed, Wei Xiao threatened him, unable to bear public humiliation. Zhongxi stepped in directly, blocking Wei Xiao to shield a Shui from power pressure. Wei Xiao kept pressing terms, hinting at accidents if a Shui refused to bow. The threat proved he'd prepared backup plans. This recruitment was never random. Zhongxi sensed real danger. Wei Xiao dared scheme mid-campaign. A Shui firmly refused, knowing acceptance meant cutting off his own path. Failing his goal, Wei Xiao cursed him, officially marking the start of enmity. Wei Xiao withdrew in rage, clearly unwilling to let things end. Wei Xiao's smile behind his back confirmed the plot. Continued threats weren't empty. A Shui was reminded to attend tonight's event, as the Merchant Guild planned a big show. Zhongxi looked forward to the Yunhai auction, hinting at immense value. The auction opened, the Merchant Guild throwing out treasures to stir all factions. Learning a rare tree was nurtured by Saint Blood, a Shui knew it touched taboos. The tree held spatial storage for treasures, its value far beyond appearances. The first item rolled out, and bidding instantly heated up. A 300 tael star shot past 1,000, proving money here had no ceiling. A powerful official won it, confirming this was a playground of power and wealth. Arena rules were announced when bids deadlock, strength decides. Subsequent items shattered prices, making a Shui feel had entered a nobbling spending world. With limited funds, a Shui grew cautious, knowing one slip meant elimination. The golden eyes of a Jinjing beast appeared, shocking the entire hall. Bin Can announced their illusion-breaking and appraisal powers, making them universally coveted. A Shui felt strange resonance. His martial bone demanded he take those eyes. He bid instantly, knowing a second's delay meant eternal loss. Wei Xiao brazenly raised the price, clearly targeting a Shui in public. Short on funds, a Shui was pushed to the brink as bidding boxed him in. His master quietly backed Xiaoju, giving a Shui confidence not to retreat. Wei Xiao raised again to show off, declaring a Shui had no chance today. The crowd mentioned the arena when money fails, fists finish it. Knowing Wei Xiao was mid-stage galloping horse, everyone thought a Shui sought death. Remembering his master's words, a Shui knew warriors live by pride retreat shatters heart. He stared straight at Wei Xiao as this feud left no escape. A Shui challenged the arena, turning treasure rivalry into honor and life or death. The crowd buzzed, since galloping horse with and without inheritance differed by heaven and earth. Wei Xiao sneered, convinced victory was guaranteed. A Shui admitted he once couldn't win, but now he was different. Dream battles and real fights gave him enough experience to gamble once. Red spiritual energy flared as a Shui chose to test his limits. Wei Xiao struck first viciously, trying to crush him with realm pressure. Against expectations, a Shui countered instantly, one blow blasting Wei Xiao off the arena. Bleeding from the blow, Wei Xiao went berserk and counterattacked, refusing to accept being pushed back by a weaker foe. Wei Xiao unleashed the water lake drifting step, his signature art for dominating the galloping horse realm. His movement split into watery afterimages, creating illusions to scramble reactions. A Shui shattered it with a straight punch, having already seen through the flaw. Even watching elders were shocked, as that move far exceeded normal standards. Even Wei Lin had to admit a Shui's martial arts were no joke, forcing a reassessment. A Shui calmly declared Wei Xiao defeated, soft words stabbing straight into his pride. Wei Lin barked to stop, knowing further fighting would only disgrace their side. Swallowing humiliation, Wei Xiao announced the Jinjing Beast eyes belonged to a Shui. The Merchant Guild officially confirmed the result, promising delivery to a Shui's room. Seeing the treasure secured, a Shui finally breathed out in satisfaction. Without delay, he absorbed the spirit stones, eager to test the effects. His eyes turned radiant gold, proving the golden eyes awakened instantly. Vitality surged through him, revealing the golden eyes' extreme anti-evil power. The fleet neared the target rock mountain, signaling the Ghost Mother purge had begun. Sailors rushed ashore, all knowing the real battlefield awaited. A Shui meditated to stabilize himself, preparing for imminent danger. The golden eyes silently locked onto targets, showing his senses had fully transformed. The armed formation pushed into the mountain, every careless step exacting a price. Zhongxi warned the Ghost Mother excelled at ambushes, ordering tight formation. Abnormally thick fog rose, making a Shui suspect a concealment formation. Zhongxi heightened alertness, commanding regrouping to avoid being split. Flickering figures appeared ahead, opening the Ghost Mother's sex trap. A Shui sensed something terribly wrong as the formation began to falter. Regrouping confirmed aura concealment, forcing extreme caution. As Zhongxi relaxed slightly, a Shui spotted the flaw the man ahead wasn't a real ally. A spear grazed past his face, exposing the disguise and forcing a Shui to strike first. A Shui exposed the wrong form of address, a tiny slip proving the imposter. The golden eyes flashed, a Shui mocking the crude disguise now fully exposed. Unmasked, Wen Yang tore off the disguise and charged, knowing retreat was impossible. The enemy claimed half-step galloping horse, trying to overwhelm a Shui with numbers. One Hoth had rushed first, thinking a Shui easy prey. A Shui barehanded countered, sending him flying and alarming the rest. Seeing solo failure, they shouted to swarm and crush a Shui in chaos. A Shui ignored the fodder and went straight for Wen Yang, the true linchpin. Suppressed, Wen Yang screamed blame at a Shui as his mind collapsed. A Shui recognized Wen Yang, the old enemy's son who joined the Ghost Mother sect for revenge. He coldly declared lawful execution as crimes exploiting the people were unforgivable. Seeing the cowardice exposed, a Shui suspected deeper hidden darkness within the sect. Xiao Qi suddenly burst from Wen Yang's body, revealing a horrifying parasitic bond. The torn flesh proved this was no longer a normal human. Xiao Qi and Wen Yang forcibly fused, hatred driving them into madness. A Shui charged proactively, needing to stop the threat before it spread. After full awakening, the enemy reached Galloping Horse realm, spiking combat pressure. A Shui quickly saw the weakness, raw power without true martial foundation. He leapt and thrust precisely, breaking their combined assault. Dragon Roar and Tiger Force erupted as a Shui ended it in one decisive strike amid shattering rock. Facing their final curses, a Shui cut them off coldly. They weren't worth blocking his path. A voice rang from above calling O Ning Hao, signaling a saint-level force had arrived. Black mist suddenly engulfed everything, plunging a Shui into an even deadlier crisis. Golden light wrapped a Shui as the dragon-withering body scripture activated, proving the black fog was abnormal. Surrounded by black miasma, a Shui had to escape fast, knowing lingering meant death. Spotting a strange house in the fog, a Shui still entered, trusting instinct that it was the anomaly's core. A paper bearing the name Wu Cheng told a Shui this place linked directly to a key Ghost Mother sect figure. A wooden coffin appeared outside, signaling real danger had been awakened. A hand reached from the coffin, and killing intent instantly thickened the air. Amid chaos, a Shui spotted a strange black fish and seized it with water control. This unexpected gain became a variable, as a Shui hadn't grasped its true value yet. The corpse fiend appeared ferociously, forcing a Shui to face the evil head in the fog. Wolf Smoke Realm aura erupted, warning a Shui this foe was no pushover. A Shui countered with his spear, knowing a moment's delay meant being crushed. Kicked into a wall, a Shui entered extreme danger, his body nearly disabled. The black fish swam before a Shui as if offering its energy willingly. The black fish turned golden, triggering chain reactions and non-stop system alerts. Marsh water essence exploded as the marsh spirit leveled up, knocking a Shui unconscious. Blue water currents enveloped his body, auto-healing him amid the ruins. Ashui refined the marsh spirit, opening a new realm and unlocking vastly stronger water abilities. Awakening after the breakthrough, Ashui couldn't believe he advanced while unconscious. The whirlpool art opened a new combat path, storing and detonating water force. Facing the corpse fiend again, Ashui took the initiative to test his post-breakthrough power. Outside, the team was forced into emergency retreat, showing the situation was out of control. The black fog was confirmed as an evil ghost mother sect experiment, not a natural disaster. Learning it was fed by martial saint lives, everyone's resolve to wipe out the sect hardened. Badly injured Zhongxi returned with grim news, freezing the atmosphere. Zhongxi blamed himself for being missiled, causing Ashui to be lost in the death fog. The corpse fiend roared and charged, forcing Ashui to face the deadliest threat in the black mist. Ashui fired water bullets to counter, eager to feel test his new power. Seeing the enemy close and too fast, Ashui switched to melee, thrusting his spear to regain tempo. Each spear thrust became an azure dragon, proving his techniques had transformed after merging with the marsh spirit. The corpse fiend caught the spear barehanded, reminding Ashui the strength gap still existed. Ashui used finger arts to seal its aura, as prolonged combat favored the enemy. With its aura locked, the corpse fiend slowed instantly and the tide turned. Outside, Zhongxi anxiously wanted to search, but was stopped. The deeper the black fog, the deadlier. Yang Shu believed Ashui wasn't fated to die, sensing some force was holding him back. Wei Xiao laughed loudly, declaring Ashui surely dead in the fog, exposing his vicious heart. He boasted of using tracking powder, convinced Ashui couldn't escape. Wei Lin coldly ordered departure, ready to abandon Ashui in the death zone. Despite Yulong's objections, the ship departed, showing Wei Lin's absolute authority. Suddenly, light appeared in the fog, making everyone turn in shock. Ashui walked out holding a lamp, shattering every prior assumption. Stepping onto the capital's shore, Ashui felt the relief of surviving catastrophe. Recalling the life and death fight with the corpse fiend, Ashui knew one wrong step meant death. Facing his master and senior's concern, Ashui calmly hid the danger he endured. Yang Shu saw Ashui's fortune, stating the treasure he gained was part of the ghost mother sect's plot. Aunt Fang rushed in panic, reporting strange movement in the backyard, new undercurrents rising. Entering the backyard, Ashui's expression changed at the unbelievable sight. A beaver wielding a stick smashed the house, defying all common sense. The tiny old man wailed helplessly, showing this troublemaker hadn't appeared overnight. Seeing Ashui return, the old man sighed in relief and greeted him, opening fresh trouble at home. Rumors of Ashui walking from the black fog with a lamp spread fast, making him an unintended focal point. While Ashui was busy crafting, the old man popped up and dragged him into an unrefusable meeting. He bragged about his genius beaver, assuring Ashui the current problem was incapable pause. Though he thanked him politely, Ashui instantly clocked the creature as freakishly smart and worth long-term exploitation. Night fell, and under pressure from tomorrow's river right, Ashui went into seclusion to recheck all his abilities. After last time's rushed ending, he deliberately retested his skills to avoid fatal screw-ups. He discovered water bullets were spatial storage, so power wasn't just about quantity. Crushing one confirmed each bullet only used a tiny slice of his control authority. Testing a vase revealed leftover foreign matter from the old island still lurking in the water. Sensing intelligence in it, Ashui decided to keep it as a last-ditch trump card. Despite new gains, he knew the focus hadn't changed. The real boss fight was tomorrow's ritual. Remembering how he profited just by watching last time, Ashui began calculating gains as the main efficient. The thought made him grin, since both risk and reward had skyrocketed. Morning laughter echoed through the town, signaling the ritual was no longer his private affair. A father-son quarrel turned into a brawl, further hyping the pre-ceremony chaos. Elders openly declared Ashui a rare talent, unintentionally dumping the city's hopes on him. When Ashui appeared holding the ritual decree, the crowd knew the river rite had officially begun. He stepped onto the altar, each footfall locking him into a point of no return. Ashui solemnly recited the prayer, invoking history and divine authority to calm the waters. The words praised yet warned, for excess water could become disaster. The system announced success as turbulence surged, proving officiating personally was the right call. Ashui confirmed the rewards dwarfed before but had also touched something forbidden. Beneath the river, a dragon stirred, awakening as its spiritual energy was disturbed. Its fury erupted when it sensed its property stolen, a direct threat to order. The feral dragon burst from the water, its pressure enough to turn the rite into a catastrophe. Huangdi flew into a rage and drew his sword, knowing inaction would doom the realm. Enraged by the dragon's provocation, Huangdi struck directly, aiming to suppress it at the root. Huangdi's divine sense barked coldly, dismissing the dragon's demands as empty excuses. Amid the clash, Ashui noticed turbulence spiking. This ritual was clearly spiraling out of control. Spiritual power exploded atop the altar, terrifying the crowd as this became far more than a normal rite. Ashui sensed primordial chaos forming, heaven and earth splitting into sun, moon, rivers, and land. System alerts surged nonstop, proving the river god had been forcibly dragged into the ritual. When the value crossed 1, Ashui instantly knew this was an unprecedented danger threshold. Space tore open as a watery rift formed, heralding a disaster beyond this world. From the rift emerged Earth, his old home, something Ashui never thought he'd see again. The system triggered a permanent return home quest, forcing Ashui to face a choice that could rewrite fate.